I can tell from looking at Greg Cody, who is a bit post-coital, that he has just done some singing, and soon there will be a new open that will have his song in it. And you can tell from looking at him. You can tell that he feels like he has accomplished something. He was just telling me yesterday that Hee Haw 3 needs to perform in Las Vegas and do a documentary. He wants a documentary. He wants Meadowlark to make a documentary on Hee Haw 3.
Yeah, it's time. I mean, we've been a band for 50, 60 years, and at least I have been part of the band for that long, and it needs a documentary. But that's the first time I've ever been described as looking like I'm post-coital. So thank you for that. I think.
Radiant. Zaz, do you not see the happiness on him?
Yeah, he's got a smile. You know, it's like an artist who is ready to, show their art to the world.
That's exactly what it's like.
He is, but he's pleased with whatever work it is that he's done, or it could just be that everything centers around him, and that gives him the equal pleasure.
Is it like a debut for you, too? Have you seen Final Cut?
I have not.
Oh, so you'll be watching it for the first time with us.
Yep.
Okay, I wonder what it'll be about. Mike Ryan was also muttering under his breath while you were performing the new open, just grumbling about Notre Dame fans being funny, and I don't think he actually finds them funny.
No, they're not. They're mad that someone else would consider hiring their coach. It's a strange thing. Well, he wouldn't go. I'm not okay. That's his decision. But how dare you say some other school may want to hire him? What are we doing?
Isn't that a good thing?
It's
like a compliment to your coach.
But he would never leave. I don't know. I kind of saw your coach leave for an SEC school a couple of years ago, and I happen to know that he's talked to other people.
Oh, you happen to know?
I happen to know that Marcus Freeman and his agents have done some back
happens to know? Great Scott, he happens to know. He happens to know. Gather, everyone. Get the children. He happens to know. So wise.
People get really offended when the perception is even hinted at that their place is a stepping stone. This happened with Oregon and Mario Cristobal. It's why they hate Mario Cristobal so much.
This place considers itself less of a stepping stone than any place in college football. And
I don't know if they have $15 million to pay coaches. They typically don't do that.
It's supposed to be everyone's dream job.
Ohio State would like a word.
Nope, I'm telling you this. I understand what you're saying. There's greatness in plenty of places. Holier than thou, only one.
Do you think when they need money, do they call the Pope and say, hey, man, like Marcus Freeman's about to leave. We need like another strong 15 million.
Open up the coffers there in the Vatican.
They got quite the endowment.
What do they got in there, by the way? What's going on down there? Something to ponder.
In the coffers?
In the coffers of the Vatican, Dan. You know what's going on down there?
Vampires.
I don't want to talk about what's going on in the coffers.
What's going on down there? We need to have that conversation. Not yet, but soon.
The summertime is over, so let's head down to the court. Time for the tip-ball. Give me fast breaks on the attack. Will you shoot a three or take it to the rack? Basketball is back, Jack. It's a dream shake down in the post, or a killer cross you love the most. When the offense tries to run and gun, is it man-to-man or box and one? It's big plays and talking smack. That's how you know that basketball is back, Jack. Let me hear you say, basketball, basketball, basketball. Basketball is back, Jack. 360 dunks and pick and rolls. And we're gonna watch it every day till they raise the Larry O. Hard fouls and hook shots, a dagger three and hack a shack. If you say this game's the best, I'll say's a gag. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back.
We got to get that guy to stop breaking bottles over people's heads in the office. That seems really unsafe. I don't think when the offense is on the run, one of the options is box and one. I don't think that's what's happening
When's
there.
the last time your boxing one was played, you think?
Wow, I'll have to admonish my lyricist over that one.
On a day when basketball reopens and Amin is in town flying in with urgency because basketball has reopened, we open with a hockey story. And
come on.
Hit the other open.
the rarest of things that you get in sports is we talk about drama and soap opera and beef and everyone hating each other. Just a super sweet moment. Just a super sweet moment that broke one of the tough, dirty irritants that sport has ever seen with one of the greatest stories. And everyone in Florida and Boston could appreciate, they still love him and he still loves them. And Marchand is trying to keep it together and he's got no shot at keeping it together as he's watching the video montage. And he gets the career eulogy of his life flashing before his eyes when they've got those banners and it says 2011. You see the one next one, 1972. Like there's no back-to-back there that Marchand is going back to.
I was moved by it. I really was. And for me, it's always F Boston. I hate everything about that city when it comes to sports. I hate that team right there. I hate that crowd. They did a tremendous job for him. He is an ugly crier, and I felt it for him, though. I felt good for him, and I thought it was a tremendous moment. I loved it. I really did. I loved it.
Would you think it was a tremendous moment if Marchand played for, like, the Stars or some other team?
No, I wouldn't give a shit.
Well, I mean, for me,
I'm a Panther fan, right?
They nailed the tribute. I was unaware he played in Boston, and so they really did a good job encapsulating, catching me up on that. I did think it was really cool that the more emotional he got, the louder the crowd got, and it was just waterworks after that. Especially if you had no idea he was a Boston Bruin.
He also made it clear, because they had talked to him throughout the day. He made it clear that he wouldn't change anything. He's really happy with the way everything worked out.
He said one thing that surprised me. He said that he had no intention whatsoever of re-signing with the Panthers until he did, and he knew he was a rented mercenary and got caught up with the, God, this feels good. Like, this is one of the reasons, that it's still confusing for me to see Kevin Durant in Houston, because I'm like, man, winning seems like it would be super fun. Why wouldn't you just stay with the winners? It seems like you could be swayed by that. Winning seems like a good way to spend your basketball life.
I think, well, for Kevin Durant, I think, when you're that level of talented, and I'm no hockey expert, so I don't think Marchand was that kind of talent.
More of an emotional leader guy
right,
than skilled.
He was a tremendous hockey player. I know we all live in a swamp, and we just started following hockey a couple of years ago.
He's not Kevin Durant.
He's not the most gifted player we've ever seen with a basketball.
But he was one of the top players in the
He's
league.
close. He's close to Durant, in my opinion.
No, he's not close to Durant.
In my opinion, he is.
I mean, he has a city that loves him more than any city loves Kevin Durant.
Bingo.
Definitely not late to that
In
opinion.
terms of unprecedented player, Marchand is not that, but he's got a story that's super interesting, super sweet at the end, and absolutely made the most of his talent. A lot of people would argue that Kevin Durant hasn't, even though it'd be hard to argue that because he's one of the 10 best basketball players ever and maybe the purest scorer we've ever seen of any kind.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who would argue he didn't make the most of his talent. Maybe his personality, maybe his choices.
No, I'm saying in terms of the winning that he ended up doing.
Oh, yeah, sure. Marchand, 2 Stanley Cups is probably way above the over-under for what we would have thought for his career.
Marchand's an overachiever for sure. Is Kevin Durant an over or underachiever?
Man,
he's an achiever.
Properly achieved.
He's properly achieved. Yeah,
Properly achieved. Could have won more, but decided to not.
But Dan, to my point is that when you are a talent like Durant, there is an allure also to the chase to how this happens. It's not just about the accumulation. I tell the story a lot. When Andrew Bynum, remember him? He was the center for the Lakers when they won with Kobe and Powell and all those guys. But when he was first coming up, there was a game when Mike Brown was actually the coach. He gets the ball at the top of the key, shoots a 3 with 15 on the clock. Mike Brown goes crazy, pulls him out the game. After the game, all the reporters rush to Kobe's locker because they think, oh, Kobe's going to rip this kid a new one. Like, how dare you take that shot or whatever. And so, Kobe, what do you think of that shot by Andrew Bynum in the third quarter? And Kobe sat back and said, sometimes when you're great, you need to test the limits of your greatness. Like, he wasn't mad at all because he understood. He's like, oh, this is the only way I know. Wait, what can I actually do? I've told this story as well. When I worked for the Suns, Steve Nash, in a playoff game, threw a behind-the-back left-handed pass between someone's legs against the Spurs. And I was like, why would he do that? And like, sometimes you just want to know, can I do this? Can I do this with the stakes this high? And so for Kevin Durant, and I have to do this disclaimer because otherwise I'll get a DM from him, I haven't spoken to Kevin Durant. I don't know anything on it. But it would seem to me when you're that talented, winning it just because, hey, we're on the best team is not enough of an intellectual pursuit. I have to find out what are the limits of my greatness. And I think that's what he's done in this journey since he's left Golden State.
Does this tie into your Aaron Rodgers theory of everything needs to be harder because I'm so good that I can't do it with guys that are just great? I have to do it with guys that are garbage to make sure that everybody knows it's me.
It is the bizarro evil version of the Aaron Rodgers theory. Aaron Rodgers theory is I need enough reasons to explain my failure that won't be me. It wasn't my fault. Y'all gave me this and that. Like, hey, man, if I had. So that's the Aaron Rodgers thing. Whereas Kevin Durant is like, I wonder if I could.
There are three guys I think of where they're all-time immortals, and one of them is not Mark Andrews. All-time immortals that somehow achieved things that are damn near close to unprecedented, but still will get slathered with underachieved. It's Durant, it's Aaron Rodgers, and it's Shaq. It's even Shaq because you're like, couldn't he have won more? Couldn't he have won more?
Three-peat.
Given how dominant he was.
No, I'm not.
I agree.
No.
I agree.
No?
What?
No.
And I love Shaq. I
What?
totally agree.
I don't even mean it as an indictment of
No,
him. It's
I
just
mean, not before LeBron. Sorry.
Dan is speaking nothing but straight facts.
He did
here.
a three-peat.
And people
And he
still
should've won him even more.
people still say Shaq should have
was
won
more
'Cause
dominant than that.
You got to think about this: Shaq versus LeBron. Shaq versus LeBron. Here's the thing: LeBron spends 7 figures on his body every year, and his diet is this, and he's got these trainers. And no, he's maximizing everything he can do. Whereas Shaq, everyone's like, the guy eats donuts and says, I got injured on company time. So
He
I'm
was
gonna-"
lazy.
Yeah, like, well, I'm not going to say all that.
He won a three-peat the way you're describing.
Yeah,
Like, that means
No,
he's-
but he
That's
didn't.
how amazing he
no,
is.
but Chris, when he came into the league, okay, first games in Orlando, when he was dribbling up and down the court with the ball, all of us looked and said that's the most dominant thing we've ever seen. Should have won 10 championships, or should have won a championship at least before he started winning MVPs in his early 30s.
Guys, I love the enthusiasm in the room. Everyone's engaged. Everyone's in. Basketball is back. But if we're going to do 90s nostalgia, how are we not talking? They brought it back, and guess what? There it is. Hit that music. You know what they did, Dan? They hit the Buffalo. No, play the music. I need the bed.
It's
Oh, it
get us-
can't? Okay,
get us
never mind.
flagged.
Never mind.
complicated.
All right, we got flagged.
7 seconds or less.
Never mind. Oh, I love that book. So Dan, they pushed the button, and you know what happened? It was the Buffalo Wild Wings button. It said, hey, this game is great. We needed to go a little bit longer for a couple of reasons. One, we want this to continue, but also there's another game with Steph Curry in it, and people can't watch it. You know what they'll have to do in order to watch it? They're going to have to download Peacock and subscribe to that. And all of it came together. NBC could not have had a better night. And you know what the highlight was? The pinnacle, the zenith. That was it. But the second highest pinnacle in zenith, insights into excellence.
No, that's not
Oh, my
right.
God.
That's not correct.
You didn't like it, Dan?
Wait. We'll get into insights into excellence. I saw what Amin did there. The ball went over to him, and he's like, you're not going to turn this into a puck. I'm going to keep it a ball. And the story from last night, and that was a fun game between Houston and OKC. Also a fun game. The late game was also fun, but the game of the night was the game played around the emotion of Marchand
Yes.
in
Yes.
Boston
Yes.
at the top of hockey.
Yes.
Seeing a player break like that because of his link to a community, it's almost, Mike just said it, man. Kevin Durant got booed when he returned back to OKC.
Durant will never get that moment.
Never.
Ever.
Durant was booing the OKC ring ceremony, which was great heel work out of him.
And then Steven Adams booed Durant on the intros.
That was awesome.
I like that one. I also love the dichotomy of at center from Pittsburgh, Steven Adams, and the crowd went nuts.
Yeah, they should.
At forward from Texas, Kevin Durant, and boo. It was the exact opposite
That's right.
of cheers and boos. But then you say about the emotion of a guy and a link to a comedian, Brad Marchand? How about the emotion and the link to a legend of Amin Al-Hassan? I sat there, I had tears in my eyes, watching Michael Jordan tell me that he felt mortal for a second. Then he remembered who the hell he was. You're damn right I drained that free throw.
I think we've got all show to celebrate Peacocktober. Let's just put a bow on this Brad Marchand thing, because the emotion of the start of that game was one thing. The game absolutely delivered, and it's one of the nuttier finishes you'll ever watch in sports. It's hard to make a regular season game echo. To have a regular season game be memorable, you need to have like what the Senators and Panthers had.
And it was ESPN.
A couple seasons. This was a national game.
Yeah.
I don't know how that puck went in.
You had the framing of Brad
I don't know
Marchand.
how Verhaeghe gets credit for it.
You have the framing of Brad Marchand's return to it. The Panthers go up 2-0. They concede. It's even. They get a late goal to go up 3-2. The Bruins pull their goalie, get a late equalizer. You're shitting bricks if you're a Panthers fan, because you're about to go 0-5 on the road. Your season feels like it's in jeopardy already because you're blowing this lead to Boston. And then something that I don't think I've ever really seen before. Carter Verhaeghe, so I could call game, hits a post. The puck bounces about 5 feet in front of the net, off a Bruins player, back into the net, and the clock freezes at 3:05.
That's what I'm talking
But there was like 26 seconds left. So it
Inexplicably.
It didn't stop at 3:05.
3:05.
It just went back to 3:05, and then it disappeared.
That's what I'm
And we
talking
finished the game with 0 clock, and the source was the officials on the ice just trust us. The game's
I had
over.
to just wonder how much time was left while I'm watching the Panthers try and drain the clock. I have no idea what time was left.
It was such a great goal that it made time stand still. But as great as that game was, and it was like it almost had a playoff feel. As great as that game was, and as great as the final goal was, it was the emotion at the beginning. I was brought to tears, which I rarely am by sports, because that moment was bigger than sports, right? It was a beloved player being hugged by the entire city of Boston, and that's so heartwarming to see. I hate it nowadays. You see a lot of fake ceremonies when a player who played there 2 or 3 years comes back and they give him the touching video.
Everyone's got to get the thank you videos.
and they don't deserve it, most of them.
Penn State fired James Franklin, then tweeted out "Thank you."
I mean, Brad Marchand. I don't think Bruins fans have had a more popular player since Bobby Orr. I really don't.
Patrice Bergeron, but
not for my money.
I mean, Borges?
So I'm sorry, I need to clarify one thing really quick.
Sorry, yeah, my bad.
Echoes
Ray
throughout
Borg.
eternity.
Yes.
Borges.
Ron Borges is a writer there.
That's right. Thank you for the help there. That's good help from you. Ron
Legend.
Borges is a writer in
You're
Boston.
from a
but
swamp
Ray
that just
Borg-
started
Ray-
following the sport 3 years ago.
No, but Ray Bork, if I put it on the poll at Le Batard Show, greater Boston legend, Brad Marchand or Ron Borges? But Brad Marchand or Ray Bork?
Oh, I would pick Marchand.
Probably
in a minute.
Marchand.
In a
Bork didn't
minute.
win, so
Yeah.
probably Marchand.
No, but they were
In a
the last time I remember Boston having a hockey moment like this is when Ray Bork won in Colorado, and they brought the parade back to Boston because Ray Bork won in Colorado. This town obviously develops its allegiances very strongly and emotionally to players, but this guy getting the sweet one when he is nationally hated, and 6 months ago was hated by Mike Ryan. Like to find a sweet spot with two cities because your grit beats the respect out of people, and you're an annoying player. You're somebody other players do not like. You're not. I would say that you're not not a likable player, given that Paul Maurice said himself, I had a certain idea about what this guy was before I spent time with him. It's sort of like seeing Ty Domi get this. Like, it's not, this kind of player doesn't usually get this. It's not Ty Domi. I understand it's not Ty Domi, but I'm just saying it's a player who's viewed as annoying to other fan bases and other teams in a way that not a lot of other players are.
Well, and to that extent, I don't think anyone, and it was a national audience last night, I don't think anyone appreciated that moment last night outside of Boston fans and Panther fans. Like, that is not a likable player out there.
I thought what struck me is that it wasn't just Boston loving Marchand. It was obvious that it was reciprocal and as deep coming from Marchand to Boston. He's a Bruin for life, if there was any doubt. He could win 2-3 more Stanley Cups in Sunrise. He's a Bruin for life.
I feel like
that's a beautiful thing to see.
I felt like that went on like 30 seconds extra, basically as like a statement to the organization of like, we don't agree. We didn't want him to be gone. I feel like that there was a little extra there of like, yes, he was an emotional player for them. Yes, they're going to miss him. But it's also they're mad at their organization because they never wanted him to get let go last year. They wanted him to find a deal for him.
I just want to be clear about one thing. Greg, you were driven to tears watching that.
Yes,
and
I got emotional.
And not listening to Michael Jordan and Mike Tirico talk about
We will
getting
get to that. I
Airbnb.
mean, I promise we will get
apologize.
to
I
the...
just want to clarify because maybe Greg was crying multiple times.
Well,
last
Greg
night.
has already told us. That is Mike Tirico fake laughing at Michael
That is
Jordan
not a fake laugh.
hitting a free throw.
Not a fake laugh.
It's really funny.
Greg Cody, as you've gotten later in life, you've been more likely to cry, right? Sporting events might not make you do it, but you are now more of a crier than you used to be, correct?
Yeah, I would say in
You
general
started
terms,
crying on
yeah.
your podcast last week because I told you I drafted my daughter's soccer team.
That's true. That was. I did talk about what a great father I think Christopher has turned out to be.
Boy, how'd you get so soft?
And it made me tear up. I'm sorry. Not sorry.
When did this start happening to you where what would be the last sporting event that you found yourself crying? Because it really was a rare thing to see when the emotion jumps out of your television set in South Florida on hockey and this player. Like, it's really disorienting to have the emotion sneak up on you. Oh, he's not going to hold it together. Oh, he really loves this fan base. Oh, this fan base really loves him. Oh, I love sports. This is why I love sports.
Shaq is more disappointing than Connor McDavid.
It's a wild take.
He won 3 championships in a row. That's hard.
Underachieved?
You guys are just showing your age right now because you don't. Dan is. You guys want to make fun of Dan. Dan is spot on.
We're not saying
People,
I get what you're doing.
We're not saying that Shaq doesn't belong in this conversation, but to say that there's no player that
underachieved.
That's why. Like, he may be in the
Chris,
conversation.
It's a compliment.
LeBron's won 4.
Chris,
His entire 30-year career, it seems.
I'm telling you right now, when Shaq, even at the height of Shaq winning, remember I got hurt on company time. I'm gonna rehab on company time. That happened. I think title number 2. The expectations was this dude was gonna be Bill Russell, 8 straight, 10 out of 12. And the moment he only had 1 MVP. People say, "Oh, that's all you got,
That's
one MVP."
not his fault, though. He should have won one. That's not his fault.
What other one should he have won?
Nash.
There were several
I
he
dare
should've
you.
won.
How dare you?
I know you were the
Hold
son,
on. How
sir.
dare you?
I dare.
You dare not, sir.
We live
I'll
in a
be your
racist
ally on a
country.
lot of things, Greg Cody.
Okay.
This is not one of them.
Okay. All right. I'm not alone. That kind of thing.
Nash
A lot of
got,
haters.
Didn't Nash get like 2 in a row?
Yeah, he did. He's great.
Nash
Good player.
Nash was great.
If let's go for the little white guy.
If you don't believe that Shaq underachieved, I feel like you don't remember how incredible he was.
I'm open to that conversation, to put him at the bronze medal stand of all-time underachievers when he did a 3.
I just put Aaron Rodgers. I put Aaron Rodgers there.
There's an argument for Aaron Rodgers.
Is Patrick Mahomes an underachiever? He could have won 3 in a row.
I don't really need to say much more than Shaq won 1 MVP. Steve Nash won 2. Who do you think's the underachiever there? Like, Steve Nash won 2 MVPs. Shaq won 1. In what world? In what world?
This world, sir, because Steve
No,
Nash
but
is a great player.
you understand what I'm saying.
I understand. I'm your ally on this one. Like people, now it's going to sound ridiculous. I'm telling you. Even Shaq talks about, like, I have 0 margin for error. Anything I do is not good enough because the expectations are a guy that big, that skilled, that athletic, right? That kind of footwork, which a lot of people did not at the time, I think, appreciate. He wasn't just big. He had crazy footwork. And he was smart as crap around the. I don't know why I edited
Crap
myself
is
there.
not smart. Crap is not smart. Like,
Smart
I don't know.
as hell.
Smart
How
as
about that?
yeah.
Smart
Smart
as
shit is
crap.
what I
I've
wanna
never
say.
heard that phrase.
Right? And again, the explosion. So most of the time, you think of big guys that size. They don't have that kind of vertical. They don't have that kind of first step. So all of these things were combined that, this guy's going to be ringing up the rings over and over again. And it started with that first finals loss. It's not that they lost. It's that they got swept by a
smoked.
6 seed. And that's when it started with this guy's an underachiever.
Well, no, Amin can also tell you that what also started is next year, all of a sudden he's got post moves that he didn't have. The following year, because he went how many years without doing much of anything in the post other than dunking? Like he was getting smoked by Hakeem Olajuwon's skill set.
And he didn't try defensively. Like he wasn't close. The defensive player he became under Phil Jackson, he was not remotely close to that before.
I mean, his early years when he was young and dumb and didn't know any better, he was pretty good defensively. And then as he starts to realize, I have – you got really scared over there. I thought
we thought we were going to go.
Yeah, look,
dumb and bad defensive player. That's usually how it goes.
We talked about this the other day, Mike, right? Like it's like it only takes one, right? That's the saying. Although the extended saying is a little different. Same thing with young and dumb. There's extended saying that we don't say on air. Then we just leave it to young and dumb. But he was decent defensively. Clearly, when he got with Phil Jackson, he bought into being a better defender. It's not. I think it was, again, choice. A lot of what the stuff that Dan is talking about is that there's an appearance of choice with Czech. He chose to be in shape. He chose to become a better defender. He chose to take the first couple of months of the season off to rehab a toe injury that he could have rehabbed during the offseason. These are all Shaq choices, whereas a lot of these other guys were like, oh, you weren't good enough. You choked. We don't talk about that with Shaq. We just talk about, man, you could have been so much better.
Yep.
Before we get to some things about the coverage last night and the NBA returning, I did want to read to you guys a couple of quotes and just have a larger conversation as it relates to Tua and respect and what it feels like to be in a room with lost respect, okay? When you're Tua specifically. I want to tie this to something that I heard Dave Dombrowski say the other day about Bryce Harper, okay? And, people are going to say that Bryce Harper is going to get hurt by this. Dombrowski, the general manager, Hall of Fame general manager of the Phillies, says of Bryce Harper, he's still a quality player. He's still an all-star caliber player. He didn't have an elite season like he's had in the past. I guess we only find out if he becomes elite or continues to be good. Can he rise to the next level again? I don't really know the answer. He's the one that will dictate that more than anything else. I don't think he's content with the year that he had. Again, it wasn't a bad year, but when I think of Bryce Harper, you think elite, you think one of the top 10 players in baseball, and I don't think it fit into that category, end quote. Bryce Harper's got 6 years remaining on a 13-year, $330 million contract. Bryce Harper probably wouldn't disagree with that in private. Bryce Harper probably wouldn't have much of an issue with it if Dave Dombrowski said it to his face. I'm guessing Bryce Harper feels disrespected that Dave Dombrowski said that honest truth out loud, that then lies the blame for, hey, you can't be better than the Dodgers. We need Bryce Harper to be better than the Dodgers' three best players, or with Schwarber and Trey Turner, we're going to keep losing to the Dodgers' three best players. So the disrespect, my point is, can be ever so slight, and wound you no matter how much money you make. If Tua lost the respect of the room, given that the games are all close in that league, given how bad the Cleveland Browns are, what would players quitting around him look like? Would it look like Sunday? Players quitting around him because they no longer respect what they're playing for. The season's already lost. They all know they're 1-5. They know they're playing a bad team. They know they stink. And their quarterback just told everybody, I'm the reason that we could have won against the Chargers. Everyone else in leadership is wrong. My question to all of you would be, are you willing to make the leap to Tua's under it, at least in part, hurts the most because he's lost the entire respect of the room that he's in? And if they didn't quit on Sunday, quitting would have looked a lot like that. You wouldn't have been able to tell much of the difference.
Well, quitting would have looked like the quarterback throwing 3 interceptions. Tua's the only one who I thought looked like he might have quit, which is preposterous because he's the one with the most to prove. The defense had a good game. Okay, make no mistake about that.
That's a bad offense. It's really bad. It's 17 points or fewer in 11 straight games.
I understand.
You allowed
that.
31.
No,
Dylan
that's
Gabriel,
not true.
Dano.
He had a pick 6, and he had another pick that was on the 5-yard line. I think Greg's kind of right about that.
If you think the defense was responsible for 31 points, you didn't watch that game. The defense played very well. They barely gave up.
I don't know about very
It's a
well.
bad
but
offense.
They gave up barely 200 yards in total offense. The defense did not cost them that game. The offense was awful, and Tua was awful. I didn't see anybody quitting. Maybe you did.
Greg, the defense didn't have to do anything. They had the ball inside the Dolphins' territory like 19 times in the game. Judkins was running Wildcat quarterback.
Right?
I'm not actually saying they quit. I'm asking you guys what it would look like if a room lost respect for its leader, what that would feel like to the person who's trying to have the press conference after the game in which he played so poorly. Would it wreck your confidence if you were surrounded by a bunch of people who were mad at you? I'm asking in a very human way. Would it wreck your confidence if you were trying to do anything with a room full of people who you have a relationship with who are now mad at you because you've publicly blamed them in a way that gets the coach to reprimand you the next day because of how out of character and how unprofessional that is for a quarterback to do?
I think the place you would see it first would be on the offensive and defensive lines. And the reason that I say that is because that's probably the area of the field where you have to exert the most effort, the most energy. And if you have a player who you are mad at, this case it's the leader of the team, you get down, whatever it is, 17-6, you feel like you're not going to win, you stop giving that max effort. I would say, like, when you're getting gashed for 150 rushing yards a game or you're not blocking very well on the offensive line, I feel like that's the first place that you would see a lack of effort.
I'm not saying they quit. I'm saying how much worse than 31-6 to the Browns who don't score against them would it have been if they had?
No, that's rock bottom. Like, it doesn't get worse than that we saw last weekend.
I know. The problem is the Dolphins keep hitting new rock bottoms. I thought the opener at Indy was rock bottom.
No, but the Browns are the Browns.
Well,
like, the Colts are not the Browns.
Browns are a joke this season.
Yeah, they're terrible.
They're
Their games,
really
other than
bad.
the Colts, have been close. The Dolphin games are close. The Colts game wasn't. We now know the Colts to be good. The Browns are not good. The Browns are as bad as the Dolphins, and I'm legitimately...
That game wasn't close. A bad football team, one that Dolphins fans entered the season thinking they were surely better
This was
than
the
the
easy
Cleveland
part of the
Browns.
schedule.
Yeah, this was the get-right part. And when all right, we dropped one in Indianapolis. Thank God we got Cleveland there. And Cleveland was looking at you, too, saying, fool, you're worse than us.
We're looking at the Cleveland-Atlanta back-to-back at the start of the season.
Carolina,
like,
too.
Yeah, and now Atlanta's got
Jets.
Bijan Robinson against the worst run defense in the league.
I think the problem with Dolphin fans nationally is, like, you guys were thinking that of the other teams, and the other teams' fan bases knew you were the joke.
Stephen Ross, it's being reported, the owner of the Dolphins, has been offered, Barry Jackson reported this, has been offered $10 billion for the Dolphins.
Really?
And turned it down. Turned it down because he wants his daughter to keep it. If you do not know the history of Dolphins ownership, Joe Robbie built a stadium with his own money, got very little credit for it, and ended up bankrupting his family. They had to sell the team in order to take, they couldn't take on the debt of that stadium. Huizenga planned on building Disney World down here. Wanted to buy all the teams.
Where's my water park?
Wanted to put a water park around the
Where's
stadium.
my water park?
I asked the same thing about Metro Zoo, too. They were supposed to have a water park there. What happened there?
Brought he tried to get around the rules of buying multiple teams by having his brother-in-law Whit Watson try and buy the Heat, hiding in the shadows. He just wanted to put it all together. Stephen Ross's team is not worth $10 billion. The land and the stadium that he has that allow him, that is built upon what Robbie and Huizenga did, make it so that the Broncos represent with Walmart the highest price that has gone for is that still the right
What
number?
did the Commanders go for, 7?
So the
Commanders went for 7, I believe.
Okay, I thought
Without
it was,
a stadium deal.
I thought it was Denver that was the most. It may be Washington that was the most after that. Regardless, this would be $3 or $4 billion more than that because of the stadium. As a Miami Herald reporter, I'm only Herald Emeritus. Your thoughts are what on the Barry Jackson report that apparently Zaslow does not believe?
Well, everybody knows the Miami Dolphins franchise alone is not worth $10 billion or close to it. But when you factor in the stadium, when you factor in the racetrack, you're also buying for that money an F1 race.
Imagine if it had a
race.
water park.
You're buying not only an F1 race, you're buying a major tennis tournament. So you're buying all of these things. And I've said for years, Stephen Ross has been a bad owner of the Miami Dolphins, but he's been great at developing that whole thing. I mean, that's a master class in how to increase the value of what you own. on the same
But
piece
what's
of
the
land.
job? What is the job? Because this part's always confusing to me, right? Roger Goodell has done a good job as commissioner of the league. Why? Everything goes up. Jerry Jones has done a good job as the owner of the Cowboys. Why? Because it's the most valuable franchise. It's worth more than the $10 billion that we're talking about here. Stephen Ross has done a good job because he's a good businessman. Like, he's a bad owner. I separate the two things.
I do
One
too.
of them make you a good businessman. That doesn't make you a good owner. He's been a terrible owner.
That stadium was trash before Stephen Ross
Again, I
gave
don't
it
get
a
my
major upgrade.
Again, yes, that's nice.
My game day experience is so much better. Thank you, Stephen Ross.
Yeah.
Yeah, it plays a major role. I
It's
think
great.
what he did there.
And they have international soccer there. I mean, it's a multi-use stadium. Nobody thinks Stephen Ross has been a good NFL owner, but it doesn't mean he hasn't been great at capital improvement. And the fact that the Dolphins stink, that they haven't won a playoff game in more than 20 years, decreases the value of that franchise hardly anything. Decreases the value by $6. It doesn't matter whether you're buying a winning franchise or not. You're buying an NFL franchise, the most valuable thing in sports.
Just looked it up on Forbes. Yes, it is reduced by exactly $6.
It's amazing you got that exactly
I know,
right.
man. Crazy.
He's done his research.
Thank
Also,
you, Billy.
Dan, to clarify something, the most expensive NFL team sale was the Commanders for $6.05 billion. The Broncos went for $4.65 billion 3 years earlier.
But to this point, like none of those teams were winning franchises, so
I
it
mean,
doesn't
the
really
Broncos
matter.
were. The Broncos,
Broncos
were.
won a Super Bowl 10
But
years
the
ago.
Commanders, like, you want to talk about an
They were
ownership
terrible.
an ownership group that was hated by its fan base, and all the things that you could say about Stephen Ross, multiply that by 10 when it came to Daniel Snyder. And look,
than-
Daniel
way
Snyder
more
was
than
a
10.
joke.
I think like
And-
11.
more than
and
10.
the stadium is still trash. They didn't have a stadium agreement in there, and they found a way to get the money that they did.
To answer your question, Dan, what is it? What makes a good owner, right? I think a big part of it is investment into the infrastructure and the fan experience.
Which he's done in a big way.
Because at the end of the day, the thing that you can't really control, and I know people don't want to hear this, you can't control the results on the field. And from everything we know about Stephen Ross, it hasn't been for a lack of trying. This isn't him being petty. This isn't him being Jim Dolan petty. This isn't him being Robert Sarver cheap. This is just, hey, man, it's tough to win in this sport without like having certain things, namely a great franchise quarterback.
Oh, but I don't believe that I could throw to the audience here. If I say to the audience, any sport, hey, don't do faces, don't do uniforms. Haven't won a playoff game in 20 years. Same owner the entire
25.
time. Is that a good owner? Is that a good owner? Like, there's no amount of concessions you're going to convince any fan that bottom line, like the bottom line isn't money, man. The bottom line is, do you do any winning at all? Any winning at all? Like, yeah, you can be worse. You can be Woody Johnson giving the press conference that he gave yesterday, which sounds, you don't want him in front of microphones ever. Like, you'll notice that Stephen Ross is not in front of microphones. You do not want to throw lighter fluid on this burning building.
So I'll give you an example. Not with us anymore, but Larry Miller was the owner of the Utah Jazz, right? They were instrumental for the Jazz being in Utah, right? That team won a lot of games, never won a championship. I don't think you'd find anyone in Utah who would say a bad word about Larry Miller as the owner for the Jazz.
That's not the same thing. That team was always good. Winning, like the Barometers aren't winning a Super Bowl. It's doing any kind of winning.
There is literally no example that I can give the audience right now where I would say, hey, 25 years, no winning. No winning. Same owner the entire time. Is that a good owner? That anyone's given me a name, hey, he built a racetrack.
You're ignoring the fact that you can be both. You can be a bad sports owner for the Miami Dolphins and great at building perhaps the greatest sports mecca facility-wise in the entire country. And one of the reasons they have the World Cup next year, a shout-out to the late Joe Robbie, it was Joe Robbie who was foresightful enough to build that stadium and that field with international soccer in mind before anybody cared about international soccer in this country.
Fans can't disassociate on-field success with how they think of the owner. But
Correct.
Look at a town like Buffalo. The Pagulas have kept the Sabres, have kept the Bills there, have built a new stadium that'll be unveiled next year. That's a small market. They have done things for that community that are greatly appreciated, and yet they don't win a championship. So if you poll the fan base over there, it's a divided opinion.
Dan, are you when you talk about the ownership and winning playoff games and whatever, like Jerry Jones is kind of that answer, right? Like, have they won 3 or 4 playoff games in a matter of 25 years, but yet the valuation of the Cowboys still goes up?
Oh, but
they're still
I'm
huge
just
talking point.
surprised at the measurement you guys are doing for Goodell, for Jerry Jones, for Stephen Ross, that you guys are all counting in dollars. You're not using the standings.
No, Dan, I'm not just going dollars because, again, Jerry Jones is an excellent example. Cowboys fans, number one, they have one of the best stadiums in the world. They have, like, their game day experience is elite, right? There's a pride that they have there. And for all of the failure that Jerry Jones has done, they all believe we got a chance. This guy gives us a chance because he'll spend, because he'll do what it takes. And sometimes that's all you can really ask for.
He's also won 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah, but
Man, that's a million years ago,
When was
man.
that?
Been a
What do you
while.
That's
got?
outside
You got
of the
a DeLorean
25-year
outside?
window.
Come on.
Still
What do you got, a
happened.
hot tub?
It is interesting to me every time that we talk about Stephen Ross here, even at present, when they've got like an international embarrassment on their hands, and we still talk about him as if he's maybe not the worst owner in the history of South Florida. And now Jerry Jones is the example when he doesn't even know the names of his players.
Michael Parson.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Diana Rossini is coming to us from a hotel lobby in Manhattan at the owners' meeting. She looks like an intrepid reporter right now. Zaslow and Cody have spent the entire break arguing about whether or not the
I won that argument.
Whether or not the Dolphins quit or not on Sunday. I am really wondering what the score would have been if they had quit. Like, everyone looked at the scoreboard when they saw Cleveland won 31-6. If they did not watch the game, they're like, Oh, that was a team that wasn't trying on the other side. If that's what happened at Cleveland, but we'll have Diana settle this for us. As incidentally, RG3 says on the Dan Patrick Show that the Miami Dolphins, Daniel, and they need to get rid of Tua too. And Bill Cowher and others are saying, yeah, the Dolphins quit on Sunday. Your assessment here, Diana?
Yeah, I think we all saw it. I don't think anyone watched that game and thought that Mike McDaniel even wanted to be out there in the rain and in the cold. He looked miserable just being the head coach. So we'll just start with him on the sideline, and obviously the ridiculous sunglasses. And he just looks like, for a coach that I think had so much potential and is still a really bright guy, he just looks like it's spinning a little bit out of his control. Maybe not even a little bit. I think a lot of it. I think the pressure of all this is mounting, and the players are unfortunately left with a lot of questions and not getting a lot of answers. They will tell you over and over, Miami, and the people I talk to there, they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to get the right people leading these meetings. The name Anthony Weaver, the defensive coordinator, his name has come up. He's come up in league circles for the last few seasons as somebody that is a leader of men. And to me, that's just what the Dolphins look like they need right now. I understand what they're doing here, right? I talked to some people on Monday after that game about, all right, making changes, right? What do we got? Well, when are you guys going to fire Mike? Just give us a heads up. And they continue to say the same thing, which is we're not doing it, because ownership believes that he can still continue to turn this around. That's obviously Stephen Ross's opinion, and we all have varied ones.
Deshaun Watson is the worst contract in the league. Is Tua second worst? Who's second worst? What's the second worst contract in the league?
I mean, Tua's up there. I think Trevor Lawrence gets thrown in there a lot when you talk about bad deals. Look, I understand what the Dolphins were doing with Tua. And when they did it, I don't think any of us from a salary standpoint were really criticizing it that much. I know I wasn't. I thought it was a fair deal for him. And if you remember at the time, the concern was less about his play and more about the injuries, right? It was more about whether or not he could stay healthy on the field, and was this really worth the risk? Which is why I had always thought that for Chris Greer and this organization needed to make sure no matter what happens, no matter how much they're paying their starter, they better have a really good backup plan in place. And guys, the theme of this season, more than ever, and nobody wants to hear it because it's boring, but the teams that are doing well have quarterbacks that are part of good programs with good coaching and good support. And at one point, I would have said the Dolphins were one of them. At one point, I believed in what Mike McDaniel and Tua were building. And this has really veered into a territory now where it seems like there is no hope left, that they really can't turn this around, despite the fact that ownership.
Everyone did believe, though, Diana. Everyone believed like you did when they were at the top of the offensive power ratings. Like, that's where the belief came from. We saw Tua be better than any of us thought that he was. Exactly.
But there is a major disconnect between Tua and his coach. That is quite obvious. They're literally doing it publicly. What did we really expect, though, on Sunday? And I'm calling myself on that, out on that as well. I did not go into that game going, oh, yeah, the Dolphins, they'll get through this. I mean, I criticized the Eagles left and right because of their drama. And you can do it and know that they're still going to perform because they're that good and they've got the right leaders. That is not Miami at all. And I don't understand. Look, I will never be one to sit up here and go, yes, change is needed, fire coaches in season. But when it starts to look like this, when you're losing the locker room and you're losing effort, just basic effort, I don't know how they can just be okay with it. And I was here listening to you guys talk about ownership before. And for those that are watching the show right now, you can see I'm sitting in a hallway. I'm literally at the owners meeting in Midtown Manhattan right now, where all the owners are upstairs, including Stephen Ross, having just mandatory meetings that they do every fall.
That's a side entrance of a hotel if I've ever seen it.
For real.
It really, this is a shady one.
Diana, are
This
you
is where
sitting down too? People are walking by and they're way taller than you. Are you sitting down on
Looks
something?
like a
Yes,
courtroom.
yeah, I'm like on a chair.
Like, oh, yeah.
What do you think? She was
Imagine
gonna
that.
stand
Sad
up?
chair.
That looks like a
That
courtroom.
chair looks expensive.
I was going to ask if you travel
you
with
guys
that
want to
chair.
do like a true,
Ooh, do the fake elevator bit.
That's funny.
If I sat, most of the owners would be that height anyway. They're not that tall. They're not
Right.
tall.
You can sit down. Don't worry about it.
Okay, cool. I'll sit down. So, which by the way, small observation that I make because this is so bizarre what I'm doing. So for those that don't know, what I do is I'm sitting in a lobby while the owners are meeting. And then when they break, they're going to come down, maybe get some water, have some food. Some of them are going to leave. And there's no setup interviews. Nobody's saying, okay, Stephen Ross, you're now going to sit with the Athletics, Diana Rossini. He's just walking. And I then have to go chase him and ask him for an interview, which I will be doing right after we talk here to see what is the direction of this organization. So it's a little bit of a weird scenario and a weird situation because they don't want to talk to you. I don't really want to talk to them, but I have a job. And this just happens all afternoon. So this is kind of, you guys are catching me at the perfect time because they're meeting. So I'm not really missing anything. But you know, the bigger, wow, you're right. I really look small.
People
like
look
space-
gigantic behind
Diana,
you.
you look so tiny.
Oh, these are important. These are league office people. They're very important.
Oh, wow.
Ask them if they think the Dolphins quit.
Cody, what do you have for Diana?
Diana, everybody says the Dolphins quit. You just refer to them.
The dirtiest look ever.
You just refer to them having a lack of effort. When you say things like they quit or they didn't show effort, is the final score always enough, or do you need evidence on the field? I'm wondering what you saw in that game on the field from Miami that told you they quit. Who did you see with a lack of effort in that game?
I don't even think it's about Miami as much as it's about the Browns. Like if you're going into Cleveland and you're not even able to put up a decent fight against an okay team that, outside of their defense, which is exceptional. Like I think we can all agree that they're the best part of the Browns is why they're able to even stay alive. But you're talking about Dylan Gabriel as the quarterback, a rookie who I didn't know that much about him coming into the draft, right? So, look, I want to believe in Mike. And every time he steps up to the podium, pointing the finger at himself, I mean, they're actually all pointing the finger at each other. But why did we expect effort? Like, did you think that performance was filled with a bunch of disciplined players that came in with a really good game plan, that were going to lean into the skill sets that they have, which we could probably do a whole segment of what are the Miami Dolphins good at right now? I don't know.
Greg, what would the score have to have been for you to concede? And I'm not saying they quit. I'm just asking you what.
Greg, are you saying, I feel like you're trying to say that you think that my opinion that they weren't making effort is wrong, that was just bad football, that they were trying, but they just are not very good.
Yeah, you just think they're bad.
Of course, I think there was effort in that game. I think it was a bad team losing to a bad team, a bad team beating an even worse team. I'm not accusing you of anything. Anybody who says they quit, anybody who says that was a lack of effort by that team. I always say, what on the field, beyond the final score, what on the field did you see? What player on the field did you see quitting? Now, when Jimmy Butler was almost leaving the Heat, there were analytics that showed Jimmy Butler had
you
quit.
want an example of a corner just giving up and not even attempting to make a tackle or I don't think we're at that part of the season where guys know that it's done and they're just you hear this all the time where guys in the locker room will tell you no one was even trying because they don't want to get hurt. This one's in a contract year. He's not willing to take a risk. Hello. No, it's okay.
Did they offer you something? What was that?
Let's.
Cup of coffee?
Is that Mr. Ross?
I mean, what did you have for Diana?
Well, it just seems to me that the Dolphins.
Dolphins time!
Wow.
Yeah, about 5 minutes passed on Dolphins time.
That is
It's
time
enough.
on the Dolphins.
Hey, Greg, I want to go back and watch the game. And
Time!
One more. He called it. Diana, trust me.
That I see. Because now I want to give better examples.
Time.
Diana, trust me. I had a great question, but it's time, so we got to go on to something different. So you
Wait,
mentioned.
what is the time thing? We're only allowed to talk.
No more Dolphins.
Too much talking about
No
it.
more
Yeah.
Dolphins.
Time said we get
Tap
to-
it
yeah,
out.
that's it.
No more Dolphins.
Yeah.
They're a pathetic joke of a franchise.
Suficiente.
Ya, suficiente. Ya, no más. Por favor.
This is echoing in the lobby of the Omni.
You don't have headphones on?
No. I forgot to bring them, and so now.
Okay, I'll whisper the question.
See Omni ever done
So,
it.
Diana,
Danny
so
B of the day.
you mentioned that the owners will come downstairs for refreshments, and that's when you'll sidle up.
Is that Louis Riddick?
How do you sidle up? What's your opening line to gain the confidences of an owner?
Okay, actually, I need your opinion about something. So, because I only see the owners 3 times a year, roughly, I always think the most professional approach is always to reintroduce myself, right? No matter what, even the ones that I've known for years, to just, hey, how are you? Just Diana Rossini.
Yeah, they're old.
Just familiarity, and also to remind them that I'm not just a fan or a person that works for the league, so they're aware that they are talking to a journalist and that what we talk about is probably going to be written about, or I'm going to talk about it. But I've noticed a little trend yesterday when I was doing this, where I think they get offended that I introduce myself as if I'm underestimating their recall. So then I got a lot of like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, wait, I was just doing that because I know you meet a lot of people. You're very important. My face is very boring and bland. And, I look like 6 different people in the lobby right now.
Diana, the problem is it comes off as fake humility. Like,
No, it doesn't. She's trying to be courteous.
Yeah, what do you know?
I know what she's trying to do.
I see what you're saying.
I know what she's
Diana
doing.
Rossini, but I know you know who I am.
Exactly. Yeah. Like kind of like, hey,
no.
I don't know.
My brain does not go that way. I want to. I should probably be a little bit.
what a great self-assessment from you. Wow, I'd like to be arrogant, but I'm not. I can't.
That in itself is arrogant,
I
though.
can't even try fake humility. No, it's just humility. Like
Aspiring to
Yeah,
arrogance.
I don't know what I want to be, but I can tell you this version doesn't work. So, no, it's a good question. So, look, I watch these TikTok videos about how to improve small talk because
Get out of here.
the professionals at small talk, say the worst thing you could do in a conversation is to go, hey, Dan, how are you? Worst. Subconsciously, your brain shuts down and you're no longer interested. But if I make an observation about you physically, or I'm aware of something you're working on, hey, Dan, how's that project going? Or, let's just say, I'm trying to think of an owner who I saw Charlotte Jones, who is lovely to talk to, and I hadn't seen her in a while. And I went right up to her and said, hey, Charlotte Diana. And she's like, oh, how are you? She did it. I just went back. How's life since Micah? I just went right into it.
Nice.
So
you're also in the awkward position, though, of meeting all of these people, and it's so transactional. You need something. They don't, right? And so that makes the whole thing awkward.
Yes, but I enjoy this event more than most because owners don't care, right? Coaches lie, players lie. I'm sure the owners lie too, but they just say it. I talked to Woody Johnson yesterday. Did you see what he said?
Yeah, you were there.
Guys, I didn't even ask him about Justin Fields. He just said it. Like he's like, can't complete a pass, Who wants
to hear what I have to say about Justin Fields?
The whole time I'm sitting there listening to him, I'm thinking, he's not wrong. Like, is it good for the locker room and for the Jets players to hear their owner basically say that their quarterback stinks? No. But he's thinking what every other Jet fan is thinking and saying it. So yeah, Dan, I'm with you. Like, it definitely feels a little transactional, and they know I'm only talking to them because I want to hear about the state of their team. But there's owners like Carly Ursay, who is not someone I would have been chasing down a few years ago, whereas their team's doing well. So they want to stop. The Teppers, right? Like, usually they were sprinting down the hallway. Today they stopped, right? Because their team's at above 500 for the first time since 2019.
Their season's over.
Diana, this is a compliment. I believe your teeth to be real. But the teeth whitening routine, what does it look like here? Is this a contrast with the tan? What are we doing?
Wait, the teeth, mine?
Yeah, your teeth are very white.
They look good.
It's so funny too because I drink so much coffee and I don't do the straw thing. All the girls do the straw thing so you don't get the stain.
Yeah, but what
You
are we
know
doing?
what, Kev
Whitening
bought-
strips?
No, Kev bought this charcoal, like it's like a black toothpaste, and we've been using that. And which is weird, right? Like, why are my teeth whiter if I'm
Yeah.
brushing them with a black?
Did you get it on
activated-
IG? Because I got the purple one from IG.
No,
You're
the purple
saying
one's
the black-
bad. Purple one's bad.
bad?
Purple one's bad.
Why?
Don't use purple. Buddy,
It removes
Now-
yellow.
I
will
got
say-
I got the powder that I put on top of the toothpaste. You guys got that one? It's like a powder that you sprinkle on top of the toothpaste and then you brush
Let
your
me
teeth.
see your grill.
It's the
I
grit.
think you need to do the
That's
charcoal.
drugs.
The reason why the lighting it looks this way is because I saw my former camera crew from ESPN. We call him Jimmy the Greek, and he's like a legend at ESPN. And his job basically, like he knows nothing about football. Like I could call Jimmy over here and be like, Jimmy, name one quarterback. And he'd be like, no idea. He thinks his job is to just make sure that you're lit. So he helped me out. So an old colleague giving us some help. I told him I was coming on here. So he's like, oh, absolutely. He loves you guys.
Put the
Powder?
powder on the tooth. Just put it on your finger and do this.
Put the powder on the, I've never heard of that.
It's cocaine.
I'm just really excited about dental hygiene. I don't understand what you guys got to understand about
Let's
this.
speed her up too while we're at it.
Why is
Let's
the purple
speed
one
her up with the music
buddy.
that
I
will
love
get
to be
through as
sped up. I
much
love talking to you guys.
football information as we can. The Russell Wilson-Sean Payton beef, where Sean Payton was hoping that Russell Wilson would stay the Giants quarterback, said so publicly, didn't want to see Jackson Dart, and Russell Wilson called him classless and not surprising, and then said, #let's ride.
Let's ride. I love it. How mad did he have to be for him to come out of character and be a human being? What a great. I am not a big clapback person. Like, just ignore it. Good for Russ.
Well, hit him with a bounty, though, too, a bounty joke. How did you feel about that bounty joke in the middle of that?
Sean Payton's going to come back. There's no doubt. He'll find a way. I'm surprised Sean didn't hop on Twitter. He's got Twitter fingers.
This is the first public dub for Russell Wilson in a long time. Like, I feel like everyone is
Yeah.
just kind of
Look,
on his side here.
Truthfully, though, it is kind of a known thing in the league that there are some coaches that have worked with Russell Wilson, and Sean Payton is certainly one of them, who just did not like the experience at all. And a lot of it is for the reasons why we criticize him as a show and as a journalist. Of just sometimes I just think that the authentic version of him is the best. And I think it's really hard sometimes for him to be that all the time, which is why we're all like, all right, Russ, like, it's okay to show that, like, you're not happy with, a head coach disrespecting you. Stand up for yourself a little.
You mentioned the Ursays, the Colts. That whole thing is real, right? I don't think anyone expects that to beat Kansas City, but you better stop underestimating that.
Yeah, I'm past doing that. I was kind of like, okay, this kid's turning back into a pumpkin soon. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's Daniel Jones. I've watched enough Giants football in my life. But even just talking to Carly Ursay about why they went with Daniel Jones and just even his demeanor, so funny to hear how she describes. She's like, he's not like say a lot. He doesn't do a lot. He just goes out there and plays, and he's tough, and that's all that matters. But I think with their defense and perhaps maybe some additions they make at the trade deadline, if they do that, they're looking at corner, and they've got this offense humming, right? You could make an argument they potentially have a coach of the year in Shane Steichen. They've got an offensive player of the year in Jonathan Taylor. They've got a comeback player of the year in Daniel Jones, right? You've got a lot of good things happening in Indy. You don't say that a lot.
Would you be surprised if the Patriots won the AFC East?
No. I if you told me this in August, I was like, no way, they stink. They have been really impressive. I think Josh McDaniels has done an exceptional job with Drake May. I think Drake has always been talented. You talk to anyone in football that was looking for a quarterback in that draft, everyone was high on Drake. Despite some of the things out there, I think there's some reports that some teams didn't like. Every team liked Drake May. I just think the fact that the Patriots have been able, that Josh McDaniels has been able to replicate some of the success that we saw early with Tom Brady already. And I'm not there yet, being like, oh, this is the Brady Patriots yet. But, this is a team that's doing it right. They've got the right head coach. They've got the right OC. They've got the quarterback. All good things for them.
Here's what May's doing, though. It's not just the 21 of 23 that was better than any completion percentage Brady had. It's not just throwing the ball downfield better than any second-year passer ever has. They had a spy on him in Tennessee, and he's still running all over the place. He ran for 90 yards last year against Tennessee. That guy, like, if people think that's a pocket passer, he's got great pocket presence, but he runs like crazy. Like, he'll run bigger and better than Mahomes will.
Chase Daniel, my colleague on, my co-host on Scoop City, he reminds me of Philip Rivers a little. He's got a little Philip Rivers in him. Personality, no. Personality's like little Eli. He reminds me of Eli Manning. By the way, next time Drake May does an interview post-game, close your eyes and tell me you don't hear Eli. Like, it's like identical to me in my ear. But in terms of play, yeah. And the toughness and when I think about the type of quarterback that I know Vrabel wants, one thing he loved about Tannehill, I know you guys are going to debate me on this, was his toughness in Tennessee. That was the one thing they loved. And
he was tough. Nobody would debate that here. He was tough.
Really proven that. And I saw Robert Kraft yesterday, and he's glowing.
Diana, do you think the Patriots are going to be a buyer at the deadline? I feel like if they had like one alpha wide receiver, they'd be a team that could be a winner in the AFC.
Who, A.J. Brown? No. Philly's not true.
Waddle?
Not now. We'll see. No, I think defense. I think if they're going to make a move, it's going to be
speed it up. Got to speed it up.
It's a tough question, Dan. She's trying to think. Damn.
No thinking.
You know what I'm doing? I'm going through my text messages in my head of like, what was the last thing I was told about what the Pats are doing? No, it's the Patriots are making calls on defense. I don't get the sense they're going running back, going receiver, but I'm with you. Like, I could, like, that would be awesome. Like, they're not doing it, but let's say the Saints were to move like Chris Olave or something, but they're trying to work out a deal with him.
Diana, our very own Mike Ryan reported yesterday exclusively that Marcus Freeman, although he's a target for Penn State and Florida, he's rather, if he's going to leave Notre Dame, it'll be for the pros. Have you heard anything in the pros about interest for Marcus Freeman?
That would be his preference. The Chicago job last year was of particular interest.
Yeah, that I remember working on that story, and at the time, I can tell you, everyone was saying the same thing to me, which is Marcus wants to be where he is. Like, he loves where he is.
That's not my question. My question was, is there any interest in the pros for Marcus Freeman?
I don't know yet. I at this point, I'm not sure if the Titans are a team that would want to go in that direction, or if even the Miami Dolphins. The name I am keeping an eye on is Sarkisian. Curious to see if he wants to do that move. That's something that would interest him, perhaps. Just, you made me think college. So no, I will get back to you on the Marcus Freeman thing. That's not it. I know there was somebody in a very high-ranking position with the Bears that really wanted Marcus last year. But Marcus didn't want them at the time.
Diana, if the Dolphins are offered blank for Jalen Waddle, they should consider it.
Like, in terms of, like, trade value?
Yeah.
4th round?
Diana, Super Bowl odds are really indecisive right now. The perception is there's no super team. What right now is your Super Bowl matchup?
Kansas City Chiefs.
And?
They've been the most chill organization all fall. I can't get a person there to tell me that things are not good. Everything is, and this isn't like positive poly stuff too that sometimes you get from teams. Like, they're like, dude, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine.
And from the NFC?
And we see it every the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions they're building on this.
Why is your reporting so much different than everyone else's on Bill Belichick when you said on Nick Wright's show, they tell me this is the happiest they've seen Bill in years. He feels like the students are actually buying into what he's doing.
Because I did a lot of digging on it, and I talked more directly to the people involved to find out what's going on. Like, what do you guys want? Are you happy? Is this where you want to be? And the people there tell me that is what it is. And Belichick's camp will tell you that you have to be around it to understand it. And I had a colleague of mine around it on Friday night when they played Cal. And there was definitely a little bit of that. Like, it's not as bad as it may seem. Do I think it's good? No, I don't think it's good. But I do think there's a lot of people in the NFL, in the college space, on this planet who want to see Bill Belichick fail. And everyone has their own reasons. It's not my job to figure what those are out. I am just telling you that there's always two sides to things. And it's not just Bill is trying to get out, or Bill's miserable, Bill's a bad coach. There are some good things that are happening there, and he wants to be there.
She's the senior NFL insider for The Athletic, the host of the Scoop City podcast. She's joining us from a sad side adjacent hotel lobby, and she will do anything for our show. Thank you, Diana. We appreciate it. An echoing lobby where the strangers looked at how she was shouting because she forgot her headphones. We will get to the useless sound montage in a second. When she mentioned Chris Olave, I meant to mention this, I think it was 2 weeks ago. He had some play where I did not understand how he caught it. I did not understand how he stayed upright after he caught it. And as soon as he did both of those things, someone came over and just punched the ball cleanly out of his hands, even though he had made a great athletic play. Just somebody wound up and just punched the football directly.
You saw the league. They're sending memos. You better not punch the ball, fine. But don't go punching players.
Nobody said anything about punching players. They're going after the ball.
But when you miss, you punch
You with
players.
this terrible take.
You can't just punch a player.
Isn't this after the Lions-Chiefs game in which there was actual punches thrown? I think you're misinterpreting that.
Not misinterpreting anything. You can't just throw haymakers at the guy who's carrying the football.
Yeah,
who
you
tries
can if
to
you hit the ball. Yeah, you can.
What if I miss it?
Oh, well. You're going to tackle him anyway. What's the matter?
Kyron Williams got punched in the face a couple weeks ago. Cost him the game. Stop punching people. It's not boxing.
Get the useless sound montage here. Get it going so that we could laugh together at how uselessly people analyze the football games on Sunday.
Everything we said we didn't want to do did occur.
I think you did everything to lose the game. We just have to do what we have to do to go win these games.
Thank you, Lord, for putting me in that position and choosing me to be, the quarterback of this team.
We're going to be so excited anytime we win a game.
Guys want to do good every time they're out there, right?
Tip your hats to New York. Those guys have found a new juice.
We lost the game. It was upsetting.
We came in to, play to win the game.
He was cool as a cucumber and went out there and did his job.
When you win, you can usually coach a little bit harder.
You guys took the foot off the gas at all when you had this 19-point lead?
No.
Take it one game at a time. We celebrate the wins, celebrate the heck out of it just now. And the resilience of this group, the focus, the toughness to finish when we needed it, guys making plays.
I mean, I am who I am, and I don't change.
We're going to find out who and what we're made of.
I mean, it's important we don't let the euphoria of a win like that cloud the things that need to get cleaned up tomorrow.
Great fight, grit by our guys.
There's some grit there. They didn't quit.
Yeah, we won't be defined by this performance, but it certainly was disappointing tonight.
They're figuring out how to win. They're figuring out how to practice.
You win a game like that, it's like the best thing ever. My first time you sort of winning a game like that.
I thought the guys did a great job of being able to sleep on the plane.
Two formulas that generally will equal immediate loss.
I mean, if you complete it, they're happy. So.
The only thing we can do is go back to work.
Yeah, 60-minute game. So
just like everybody else in there, you got to look inward first.
If you're saying it's not me, it's you.
Me and the boys are over there. See one of them kind of counting. I'm like, you know what? It's probably best we don't do that because a lot of numbers you're going to have to count.
But it was funny. We were talking this week about, I was like, it's your revenge week this week because he was in Atlanta. And then sure enough, he's like, on whatever, early in the game, he's like, all right, here we go. And I was like, revenge week.
Here's what gives me hope as I go through these weeks is, man, just exactly how they come out on Wednesday in practice and then how they come out on Thursday in practice. Same with on Friday.
When tomorrow comes, and it's not tomorrow yet.
Plans are plans, man.
Our philosophy is always going to be do whatever we got to do to win games every single time.
We just got to stick together.
Doing right longer, and that's our definition of finishing.
We're always truth tellers on Monday.
It was good. He definitely owes me some money. He fell down on those passes at the 2-yard line, so he wanted to run them in.
We talk about practice, performance equaling game reality. I thought that came to life today.
We say we want to win games, so we have to do the things necessary to win games.
Yeah, no, I got your question, and you weren't wrong, so hope we can still be friends. But
we have a NFL opponent and game next week.
Just trying to maneuver everything and trying to build a collection of guys to kind of bring along with me, and I got to be able to multitask if that makes sense. Be able to do that, and while doing that, kind of continue to get the whatever it was last year and the years prior for myself to get going again.
If I'm being totally honest, I have not been myself since confusing Ray Bork and Boston Globe columnist Ron Borges. But McVay brought me back by complimenting the way his guys were sleeping on the plane.
Yes.
Those guys slept on the plane on the way to the Jacksonville game. They did a great job of sleeping on the plane. It's not the easiest thing to do. You remember when Chip Kelly was going to change the Philadelphia Eagles because he bought them smoothies and heart monitors and he was going to monitor their sleep? Sean McVay made sure that his Rams slept correctly.
Yep. Nobody sleeps like the Rams.
I thought the guys did a great job of being able to sleep on the plane.
Do you think he walked up and down the aisle? It's like, nice. They really look so. They look so.
Who's
cute.
awake over here?
That's good
Close your
sleep
eyes.
right there. That's good sleep.
Who's good?
Last night, Amin was made nostalgic. I wonder how old he felt when all of the players playing in the games were interviewed about their memories about the NBA on NBC, and none of them knew anything and laughed in the face of the interviewers, except for Anthony Edwards, who simply said Michael Jordan. That's what I remember from NBA on NBC. They bring Michael Jordan out. I seem like I'm the only one that was disappointed by Insights into Excellence just being a 1-hour interview with Michael Jordan.
Well, what were you expecting?
I was expecting something a little more like Tom Brady if you're going to give him some that kind of money. Like, I'm not saying you got to go to production meetings, but you're not going to just do a taped 1-hour interview that you're going to splice out over the remainder of the season.
Zaz, Dan was expecting Michael Jordan to let us know that Tari Eason needs to step it up. And also, Casey Wallace has been a great piece of energy for the Thunder.
They had Carmelo and McGrady to do that.
Are you comparing Carmelo and McGrady to the greatest player in the history of the game? The man whose funeral I will attend?
Did you guys see their tech issues at the start? I'm not going to lie. That made me feel good.
Not so easy, is it?
I like to see when big programs have tech issues.
Carmelo, can you put on a shirt and tie?
Oh, what are you doing?
Carmelo.
Enough with you.
This isn't a podcast.
Wait, look at your
It's
outfit.
NBA and NBC.
You have a backwards flex fit.
That's right.
Flex fit.
You know what? I'm glad.
This is the second consecutive
I'm
day
glad
you're
you brought
wearing
me up.
a runner-up Heat championship shirt.
Okay, first of all, I have a lot of positive feelings about the Miami Heat's 2020 run to the NBA Finals. I know they didn't win.
Back-to-back days
but I
with a
feel
second
positive
place
about
shirt
this.
and a backwards
Number two,
flex fit.
I'm glad you brought this up because I was on the Miami Heat radio, not even television, radio broadcast for 12 years.
He was wearing a suit.
I wore a suit of it. Look,
That's
look,
not true.
Look at me. Look at me. This is how I want to dress. You think I wanted to wear a suit every day when I wasn't even on TV? But I dress for the occasion. Carmelo, it's not a podcast. Put on a suit.
Everyone in there has a collared shirt.
Two-time champion broadcaster.
Dan, a lot of people were praising Carmelo for dressing in a way that offended Jonathan Zaslow, apparently. And to all those people, I'd like to say, you're welcome. Let's give credit where credit's due. Pay tribute to the trailblazers, the icons, the people who blazed the path to allow Carmelo Anthony to wear that on an NBA broadcast.
Who are those people?
You're looking at them.
Okay.
You're taking credit for T-shirt pioneering?
Not T-shirt. Explain yourself, Amin.
Not T-shirt. When I got there, they were all dressed like they were going to a funeral. Hard bottoms and suits and ties. And we're talking about sports seriously. And I came in with the bomber jackets and the Jordans on. And next thing you know, everyone started wearing sneakers with their suits. And then it became, we don't have to wear a suit. And now everyone's like, oh, my God, look at Carmelo Anthony. So cool. I'm like, I did that 10 years ago. And you guys called me crazy.
You can't be taking credit for this. For taking
Dan, he's a trailblazer. You're talking to a trailblazer of television, Dan.
Pioneer.
You took the blazer out of Trailblazer.
Exactly
you
right.
put the
Now
sports in sports coat.
Pioneer.
I mean, even Michael Jordan dressed up for the occasion.
And he didn't even leave his living room.
I did like those shoes. Those shoes were like Vanta white.
You think when he saw Tirico had white shoes, he's like, no.
I've got whiter shoes. He went back into his closet and got some shoes to one-up him. By the way, how great was that story?
Oh, dude.
It's a good story.
While he's wearing shoes whiter than Rossini's teeth. But, yeah, Dan, did you hear the story? Now, you're familiar with the meme, the Michael Jordan meme? F those kids?
Yes.
Okay. Well, apparently, it's a lie.
The
Because he
Ryder
cares
Cup,
about
he
kids.
stays at a Ryder Cup owner's house, whatever that means. The guy who owns the Ryder Cup is what he said. And you say the greatest basketball player ever, and you're right, but the greatest basketball player ever still gets trotted out like a show pony to shoot free throws when you own the Ryder Cup.
He doesn't
house.
own the Ryder Cup. It was
the guy
a guy who
house.
owned the house.
Okay.
The best part is that he asked him, have you picked up a basketball? He goes, not in years. And he asked one follow-up. Really? Actually, last month I shot a free throw.
Not in
what word?
years.
You said not years, and then 10 seconds later, you're like, actually, last week I shot a free
Chris,
throw.
you know what I just heard from you right there? Mike Tirico, journalist. Yeah. Most podcast hosts would be like, okay, let's just move right along. Not Mike Tirico. Stayed in it, hit him with the follow-up. right? Hold him accountable. Michael Jordan comes back and says, "You got me, Mike." Tells the story, and then, if you didn't watch, Michael Jordan goes.
Let's hear it. Let's do it right now. We have the sound. We
live.
have the sound.
Okay.
I haven't picked up a ball in years. No, come on. Just walk past. There's got to be a hoop somewhere at your place. You don't see a hoop anywhere around here, right? I don't. It's a reason. It's the last time you picked up a basketball and shot it. I was at the Ryder Cup
A month ago.
and I rented a house from the owner. Sure. He came over to do pictures. He had grandkids. And I was meet and greet and thank him for allowing me to stay in the house. And he had a basketball court. He says, "I want you to shoot one free throw." I said, "Really?" And I already paid for the house. It's not like they got to see me. So when I stepped up to shoot the free throw, it's the most nervous I've been in years. Stop it. In years. Stop it. Come on. And the reason being is those kids heard the stories from the parents about what I did 30 years ago. Right. So their expectation is 30 years prior, and I haven't touched the basketball. I hope you swished it. Absolutely.
Yeah. We're supposed to believe that he rented that house? Come on.
Wasn't that funny, Tarico?
What?
Why would you?
Why wouldn't he have
come on.
rented the house?
If you have a chance to have Michael Jordan staying in your
You
house,
don't charge him? Is he low on money?
That's
of
who I
course
would
you
charge
don't.
the most.
Of course you don't charge him. He's staying there gratis.
Greg's right, though. That's the thing. The
Thank
richer
you.
you are, the more famous you are, the more free stuff you
Yes.
get, Dan, right?
Yes.
I'll give it to you free if you give me a free throw. If you go out here and
Dan.
shoot a free throw for me.
I mean,
Dan.
my kids are there. What do you think they're there for? Come on.
Dan, I Googled who owns the Ryder Cup. It is co-owned, 50-50 partnership between the PGA of America and Ryder Cup Europe.
Okay, thank you for that. So they don't own the house he was renting.
Yeah.
The PGA asked him to make a free throw.
You thought a guy, like one guy, owned the Ryder Cup?
I thought
Bob
Ryder. I thought Michael Jordan lived in such a stratosphere that one guy owned the Ryder Cup and
It was
lent him
Ryder
his
Cup, like Cooper Cup, like Ryder Cup.
Hey, what's up, Le Batard fans? It's your girl, Roz Goldonwede, with the Good Follow Show. And yes, I am in my kimono pajamas because this week we had our first ever pajama show. But our show was anything but sleepy. We discussed the Portland Fire naming their first head coach, and we react. Nneka Ogwumike, she was denied to compete for Team Nigeria at the Olympics yet again. And we dive in deep with Angel McCautry joining me. You can catch our show wherever you get your podcasts, wherever you stream them. We drop Tuesdays, we drop Thursdays, we do women's basketball, women's sports, all the things. Come kick it with us. We'd love to see you there.
Jeff Pearlman is always exhaustive when he does his book writing. He talks to tons and tons of people, and I don't know if he's ever talked to more than you will find in his new book, Only God Can Judge Me, The Many Lives of Tupac Shakur. I also enjoy his work in and around all things sports. Check out his YouTube offerings. He's a great storyteller, and I want to talk to him a little bit about sports before we get into his book. So how nostalgic were you last night on the basketball, NBA on NBC, and more specifically, were you expecting anything from Michael Jordan other than a stiff 1-hour interview that they will cut up all season, because an hour of the GOAT's time is something that you will just sprinkle over this and many other seasons, I suppose.
How dare you? How dare you speak of him that way? Don't you? Wait, Dan, don't you think we've learned through years and years and decades that legends, it just doesn't work when they sit before Mike? Like, it just doesn't work. Never, ever, with rare exception, works. Wait, do you disagree? Like, I actually thought from the beginning, Michael Jordan, this can't possibly work.
No, let me think for a second. Who has been the greatest of the athletes that has actually transitioned into broadcasting, who was excellent?
Athletes or coaches? Nick Saban's doing a bang-up job without the gift of charisma.
Gretzky's fine with hockey.
No,
he was bad at first. He's gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan's been awesome so far.
This Jordan thing has been cool.
Insights into excellence. There were very few of them. There was just a story about making a free throw.
And Bill Simmons was like, I don't care what you call it. I don't care that he's not talking about the game. This was clearly taped like months ago. I'm good. So just keep talking.
Okay, so he can be loving him that way, and I can love it slightly less as somebody who wants broadcasters to be good at broadcasting.
He is.
Excellent broadcaster.
He's talking.
Literally,
Mike Tirico's the broadcaster. He's talking to the GOAT. He's there to be the GOAT,
to
Dan.
live up to this image
The
that
GOAT.
the people had built up to Bill Ryder and his whole family.
Exactly right.
Such a dumb shit.
Damn. I remember when I was a kid and they used to have Monday Night Football used to always cycle in former athletes to be the people on Monday Night Football. And do you guys remember when Emmitt Smith had a season on Monday Night Football?
Oh,
I think that might be the low.
The rites of passage. Who can forget?
He got blowed out.
That was not good. Yeah. What can you do? They're just it's just not meant to be. Great athletes are so great they can't talk about what they're great at. Is almost like the disease of it all.
Did you get nostalgic last night at all?
No. Honest to God, just being totally honest, I've mainly been focused on promoting this book as it came out yesterday. So I wasn't as tuned in as I wanted to be. I was just checking on my phone.
Jeff, you're a great writer. I've read many of your sports books. What led you to want to do a book about Tupac as far away from sports as possible?
You know, this is going to sound weird. When I was a kid, Garth Brooks wrote had a rock album. I'm not even a Garth Brooks fan, but he did a rock album called The Greatest Hits of Christopher Gaines. And it was terrible, and everyone killed it. Or it wasn't terrible, but everyone killed him for it. And I always admired the fact that he tried something way outside the box. And I've always thought about that, just trying things. I love Tupac. I've always been fascinated by Tupac. I feel like there hasn't been a great Tupac book. And I just decided if no one else is going to write it, why not a sports writer? So I just kind of gave it a shot.
The name of the book is Only God Can Judge Me, The Many Lives of Tupac Shakur. Before we get to that, let's just play the montage that Jeff Pearlman is talking about when he remembers that Emmitt Smith said that someone got blowed out.
Blowed out. Well, Boom, when you talk about humble pie, you hear the Patriots promote humble pie, and they have promoted humble pie all year long. A slice of that humble pie is having the ability to have a short-term memory, which means don't worry about the game we just won or the team that we just blew out or blown out. Let's think about what we need to do going forward. And they had blown out. All he has done is led his team to 9 road wins. He has his team in a position right now. If they win today, they can possibly go into the Super Bowl and make an appearance there.
Frank Gore had 13 carries now, 13 carries for 72 yards. Now, the reason why he didn't get any more is because you didn't get enough first down.
It is a L. Cool JJ shot. JJ.
That's what you were saying about help back. That's a safety.
I tell you what, they better get their minds right because they will be on the cover of Insane magazine.
This kind of inconsistency play going up against a team like New England will get you completely blowed out.
The Rams are not very good.
Eli Manning has been given the rites of passage.
The Patriots defense was one of the weakest links of the team. But what happened tonight, the strength of the Patriots team got debacled.
Blown out.
You never want to be on the cover of Insane magazine.
It
got debacled.
I love Insane magazine. Long-time subscriber.
Jeff should write a book about L Cool JJ.
What do you when you go into Tupac's life? What are you expecting, Jeff? And how were you surprised in ways that the reader might be surprised by?
Wait, Dan, I just have to say, because you played that clip, around the time Emmitt Smith was on Monday Night Football, I appeared with him on an ESPN segment because I had a book come out about the 90s Cowboys. And he actually kind of lit into me about the book. And this was in the middle of him doing Monday Night Football. And I had so much ammunition that I could have pulled out that I actually was running through my head. And I just said, okay, like I held back. And I want to thank you guys, all of you, one and all, for playing that. I know you didn't do it on my behalf, but that was a beautiful moment for me and my family.
So you walked away from the exchange from an angry Emmitt Smith, and you've been haunted all these years later that you weren't able to say the things you meant to as comebacks?
I'm just going to tell you that promoting a book is very stressful, and that may have been the salt bath that I needed right there. So thank you for taking me to the spa and giving me that.
Why is it stressful if you've poured so much work into this? You're getting all the applause. You're getting to talk with great facility about subject matter that you know better than just about anybody. Why is it stressful?
Number one, you don't know if the book is going to sell. Number two, to be honest with you, it is way outside my comfort zone as far as I know how to promote a sports book. I know how to come on the different sports shows. But I don't have inroads in hip hop. I don't have inroads in rap. There are a lot of hip hop outlets, podcasts, etc., that you need to promote a book on, and it's a lot harder than promoting a sports book for me. I'm just being honest. It's a lot harder than promoting.
Well, I heard you the other day on a hip hop station, and I don't know how much resistance you're being met with when you write a warts and all Tupac book, and you're walking into a lot of black environments as somebody who's the white guy.
There's a lot of the term is a culture vulture. That's what you get a lot of. Oh, here comes a culture, a lot. And then you just have to show your knowledge on the subject, which I've really been trying to do, and show how much work you put in. You know, why is a white guy writing this book? I understand actually that question. I think it's a fair question. But I think you have to show your research and show, look, I wrote this book because I wanted someone to write a great deep dive, look into his life, go to Marin City, knock on his apartment door, go to Baltimore, knock on the door of his row house, meet all his neighbors, interview all his old classmates, that kind of book. So I've been fighting, and I think it's been going okay.
Jeff, on that note, I saw a video you posted. I don't know when you posted. I saw it last night though, where you talked about getting death threats about this, and beyond kind of just talking about that side of it, you also talked about the role of journalism, actual journalism, doing what you just described, going to his childhood home in Baltimore, going to his childhood home in Marin City, and I right now I've been working with Pablo Torre on this whole Kawhi Leonard aspiration story, and even my friends don't understand. There's a difference between, hey, this is happening, now we're all opining, which is what sports journalism is now today for the most part for the consumer, versus what you're doing, what Pablo is doing, which is, no, I'm finding out stuff that nobody would have found out for if not for my work. How do you get that message across to people without sounding egotistical, I guess?
It's not even a matter of, it's a great question. It's not even a matter of ego. I swear to God, it's a matter of everyone digests things now in 20-second clips. So everything you say is cut down to 20-second clips, thrown on Instagram, TikTok, whatever your choice. And there's no elaboration, and nobody wants elaboration. So they may see some little tiny clip of me saying something about Tupac. Tupac wasn't very good at fighting. Let's say that's a clip, right? And whoa, how could you possibly say that about Tupac? How can you say that about Pac? But you don't hear the lead up, who I talked to, or the lead down, no. And that stuff is like, I've never promoted a book in this world, actually, where everything is digested in small quantities. I think Pablo's going, oh, you guys are going through that too. Who is this guy? How could he be saying this? Blah, blah, blah. All you got is the 20 seconds. You don't have the elaboration. It makes it's incredibly frustrating.
Oh, but you say it's frustrating, but you're great at journalistic TikToks. You have a huge following because on the news of the day, you are very good speaking in these sound bites.
True, but my videos are actually 3, 4, 5 minutes, a lot of them, 6 minutes, which sounds short, but today is an eternity. So the thing I found on TikTok is actually telling stories kind of resonates the same way you tell stories. But a lot of people, I'm just saying, we live in a culture where the attention span is 8 seconds and they're on. I know you guys see this. It just can be very frustrating.
Jeff, for huge Tupac fans, what will they be surprised, let's say, to learn from your book?
And what were you surprised by, to get back to the original question that made you think of Emmitt Smith and all the things you could have said to him back when he was on Monday Night Football?
You know, I sat down with his sister, Setua, in New Orleans, and she doesn't do almost any interviews. And she told me something early on. She said, I went to therapy years ago. And the first thing I told my therapist is we had rats running along our floorboards. And she was talking about when they grew up in Baltimore and the poverty of Baltimore. And they had the poverty and the pain that Tupac went through. I always knew thug life, Tupac. I get around Tupac. Growing up without a father, growing up in deep, deep, deep poverty, growing up with a mother who was a crack addict. The pain that informed his music explains everything about him as an artist, is the pain. And I just think people don't understand the trauma that he went through. And I just dove deep into his trauma. I hung out with the crack dealers in Marin City who taught him sort of about life, beyond life. It was just a real eye-opening experience for me.
I think you told us last time, but you can tell us again. How many people did you talk to for this book?
A official total of 652.
Whoa.
So it's more than you've ever done for a book, even though all of your books are exhaustive in this regard, are they not?
I mean, I try. I think one book I did talk to like 704 people. So it wasn't the personal record, but it's number 2.
Was there anyone that you tried to get a hold of that you couldn't?
Yeah, well, what interesting was I was in Jada Pinkett went to high school with Tupac, and
he loved her, right? Or she claims that he loved her.
I think she exaggerates that point a little bit, but he definitely he liked her. And she was doing a book event at the Miami Book Festival. This is a true weird story. And I thought, all right, I'm going to go to this event and maybe I'll get her. And I go to the event, and this is after the Will Smith whole thing with the slap. And it's me and about 500 women and Jada Pinkett on the stage speaking largely about how to have a good marriage. And she literally has gone through all this stuff. And all the women there are like, you preach, sister. You say it. Yeah, standing ovations. And I'm looking around like, what alternative reality have I entered? Where Jada Pinkett is telling everyone about how to have this great marriage, and they're all eating it up. It was a very weird sort of commentary on celebrity in America. It was strange.
But you didn't get her?
I did not get her. I mean, I read her book. I talked to friends. I read past interviews. They went to Baltimore School of the Arts together. She was not well liked at Baltimore School for the Arts, actually. I interviewed about 50, 60 students who went there with both of them. So
it's called preaching to the choir, by the way, with that experience that you envisioned there. Jeff, question for you about an urban legend that I've heard for years, but I hope you can confirm for us.
He did not get in a fight with Michael Jackson.
No! I wanted it to be real.
Not true. Did not get in a fight with Michael Jackson. I am sorry. He did. He did. I will say this, among other things. He dated. He dated Madonna. Wrote her kind of a breakup letter from prison, and she was basically like, He dated Lisa from Lisa and Cult Jam. Madonna did, in fact. I mean, not Madonna. Janet Jackson did, in fact, demand that she wouldn't do a kissing scene with him unless he got an HIV test in Poetic Justice. I talked to the production assistant who went in and had to tell him that Janet insists you get a AIDS test. And his response was, F her, F you. And they wound up doing the scene anyway, but he never got the AIDS test. So there's some other ones for you.
All right, well, let's do this off the cuff here. Only God Can Judge Me, The Many Lives of Tupac Shakur. Let's have you sell the book by giving us what you believe to be, in order, the top 5 best facts you have in the book, because you just told a couple of very good stories there. So let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'm putting you on the spot. I know this is impossible. You're a quick thinker, and you've got a ton to choose from. So choose your 5, and I am done filibustering now. Number 5, Jeff Pearlman.
This is in no order, though. Okay, I found the
not what Dan wanted.
I know. I'm doing my best.
He's going to have to adjust, Dan.
Yes,
all right?
Number 5.
He's telling him to give away the most important parts of the book, and now he wants him to rank them too on the fly. After doing that to Zaz, I know the audience heard it.
I heard it
Zaz
too.
asked a question, and he's like, fuck that question, my question now.
That's right.
I may as well go fuck myself.
All right, I'm going to do 5. I'm going to do it in order. Damn it.
There you go.
Number 5, I found the EMT, he'd never been interviewed before, who got to Tupac when he was shot at Quad Studios. There had always been rumors that Tupac shot himself in the ball because one of his shots, he got 3 shots, one in the head, one in the hand, one in the testicles. There are always rumors he shot himself in the testicles. I found the EMT. He lives in Maine. He'd never been interviewed before. He was surprised no one had ever interviewed him before. He confirmed to me there was no entrance wound through his pants or underwear when he shot himself, meaning he had to have had the gun in his waistband and shot his own testicle.
Ooh, that's number 5. Tupac shot his own testicle is number 5.
Faith had twins. I probably have 2 Pacs.
Holy shit. Number 4.
All right. Number 4 is this isn't a fact. This is a good reporting find. I hope that counts. Everyone told me he had a girlfriend in high school you need to talk to, Mary. But Mary doesn't talk to anyone, but you need to talk to Mary. I tracked down Mary. Mary was his high school girlfriend. She was a ballerina. She now lives in the middle of nowhere, Nebraska. First, she's like, I don't really want to talk. Then she said, you know what? I'll talk to you. I like what you're doing. She said, if you come out to Nebraska, you might want to see this. I don't know if this interests you, but my mom found about 150 love letters that Tupac wrote me under the bed in like a folder that I hadn't seen in 30 years. If you come out to Nebraska, I would let you read all the letters.
Wow.
So I flew out to Center City, Nebraska the next day, met her at a deli and read through 150 like love letters, breakup letters, pain letters, joy letters that she had, this woman had written Tupac when she was a 15-year-old in love with him. And the letters were amazing, beautiful, heartbroken. I hate my mom. I love my mom. Mary, I want to marry you. Let's get married. Let's have kids. Let's have sex. It was absolutely insane.
Was any part of you like, this is Nebraska though? Can you just send me a PDF? just take me a photo.
I went to a deli in Nebraska. I met her there. They microwaved the bagels.
Oh no.
Number 3.
I thought number 3 could be they microwaved the bagels.
That was number 3.
Number 2.
No, I got one, I swear. All right. Tupac dies in Las Vegas. The family is, Suge Knight is there at the hospital, and they give Suge Knight one responsibility. It is to get the ashes from Vegas to the family home in Los Angeles. 2 days later, a 2-day FedEx man package shows up at the door in a cardboard box, like a FedEx cardboard box, and inside the cardboard box are Tupac's ashes. So that was his big way, like classy way.
Oh no.
2-day FedEx opens the box, the ashes are in the box.
To be fair to Suge Knight, have you guys seen what FedEx first overnight costs? That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Is it actually a lot of money?
Yeah, these guys are price gouging.
Especially in the 90s.
Strong cardboard too.
Number 2.
All right, number 2, I was in Lumberton, North Carolina. Everyone knows that Tupac's ashes were spread off at sea in Malibu, or most people do. I'm in Lumberton, North Carolina. Tupac's mother, Feni Shakur, had a home in Lumberton, North Carolina that she built years later after Tupac died. No one's there anymore. It's been an abandoned lot for 9 years. I got a tour of the lot by the caretaker, and he said to me, do you want to see where Tupac is buried? And I said, what do you mean? And he goes, do you want to see Tupac's grave? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, just come with me. Before she died, Feni Shakur took the remaining Tupac ashes, buried them, has a tombstone up. So if you go to an abandoned lot in Lumberton, North Carolina, you can see the grave of Tupac Shakur. And I don't think anyone knows it's there.
There's one better than that. So this is a good list he's put together.
Journalism, folks.
Everything this guy does is good. I tell you that Jeff Pearlman, the book is Only God Can Judge Me, The Many Lives of Tupac Shakur. The number one best fact that Pearlman unearthed in talking to more than 600 people.
All right, I'm going to have to tell the very abridged version of this, but there's a song. Do you guys know the song? Some of you, Brenda's Got a Baby by Tupac?
Yes.
Okay. So Brenda's Got a Baby. Tupac was filming the movie Juice, and he's reading the New York Daily News outside his trailer in New York City. And there's an article called Cries in the Night about a 12-year-old girl who was raped by a cousin, delivered the baby on the bathroom floor, threw her baby down a trash heap. Tupac reads that article, goes into his trailer, writes the song Brenda's Got a Baby that becomes Tupac's first really well-known song. I thought it would be amazing to try and find the baby who was thrown down the trash heap. I work with a genealogist who called me one day and said, I think I have a number. I reach out to this guy, crudely via text. His name is Davon Hodge. I go to Las Vegas, we sit down. He, in fact, was the baby who was thrown down the trash heap in Brenda's Got a Baby. He, after he was thrown down, he was adopted by a family in Las Vegas. So I saw him in Vegas. His parents had died recently. So he did an Ancestry.com search. And they all came back to this public housing unit in Brooklyn, New York. He has his grand reunion with his family. They show him the place where he was thrown down the trash heap. They're like, oh, they say, do you know Tupac? He's like, of course. They're like, do you like Tupac? I love Tupac. We think you're the baby from Brenda's Got a Baby. His family tells him this. It's this amazing moment. Wait, it gets crazier. I say to my genealogist, it would be amazing. My genealogist is named Michelle Suley. She's amazing. It'd be awesome if we could find the mother. She's like, well, that might be hard, but blah, blah, blah. She gets a number one day. She calls this woman. She says, by any chance, is this Jeanette? Who's this? My name's Michelle. I'm working with the writer, Jeff Pearlman, about a book on Tupac Shakur. By any chance, did you have a baby when you were 12 years old? She starts screaming. Oh my God, do you know where my baby is? Do you know where my baby is? She's screaming and crying. Michelle says, yeah, we do. We found him. She goes, oh my God, I need to get home. I need to get home to Newark. I live in Newark. Well, where are you now? I'm at a concert. What concert? I'm going to see the Red Hot Chili Peppers tonight. Where are they playing? They're playing in Las Vegas.
No.
She met her son that night.
No way.
Holy shit.
That is a holy shit story.
Look at him, and then he drinks from the mug like Kermit. Look at him, because he knows he nailed that story.
Damn right
he knows he nailed that
one.
story. It is a good story. Do you have a best theory on how Tupac died?
Yeah, but it's not sexy. You guys saw it. It was the Mike Tyson Bruce Seldon fight. After the fight, Tupac is in the MGM Grand. He's with a guy named Trayvon Lane, a death row guy, a mob Pyru guy. They see Orlando Anderson there. Orlando Anderson was a Compton Crip who had recently gotten in a fight with this guy, Trayvon Lane. Trayvon Lane points it out, says, that's Orlando Anderson. That's a guy who stole my chain. Tupac says, which guy? That guy right there. Tupac walks up to him, punches him in the face. All the death row guys pounce. I interviewed Orlando Anderson's closest friend, the guy who was punched. And he said, there's no way Orlando Anderson could come back to Compton having gotten beat up publicly by a rapper. Like he just couldn't. Later that night, Orlando Anderson is driving around looking for Tupac. Tupac is just randomly is driving down the street with Suge Knight, hollering out at women along the strip in Vegas. Orlando Anderson is like, that's him right there. And they pull up on him and they shoot him. And it's not even a sexy story because everyone wants a grand Puffy or Biggie conspiracy. The truth of the matter is he punched the wrong person at the wrong time. And that guy happened to be a member of the Compton Crips and got a revenge killing and killed him.
You're reporting that as fact, it feels like, and I don't
Correct.
think but that is not fact. I've not heard that reported as fact anywhere.
No, it's been reported a lot of places as fact, and then it's surrounded by myth. I've talked to investigators. I've talked to people from death row. I've talked to people from the Compton Crips. I talked to Orlando Anderson's best friend. I personally, obviously, when you have a young death and a lot of conspiracy and Vegas and everything, you have a lot of rumors. But if it were not Tupac, if it were a guy named John Smith and another guy named Bob Jones, this would have been reported as fact long ago.
Jeff, thank you for the work. It's always excellent. Only God can judge me now, the many lives of Tupac Shakur. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, guys.
Writing a book sounds like a lot of work.
It is.
Microwave bagels?
He said it is right before he hung up.
I mean, the way that Stugotz wrote a book is the way to write a book. Get everyone else to do the work for you. That's the way to do it.
Well, when I wrote The Pride of a Lion, I interviewed 3 people, so that I can relate to what Perlman went through.
One of them was a lion.
Yeah, that's correct. Well, he said no comment, the lion. So 3 people in addition to the lion. That's right. Thank you, Billy.
Wait a second.
I should hit both of you with loser game show sounds.
It's okay. I'm retiring. Thank you, Billy, after today. So this is a worldwide farewell.
I've got the Boost mobile hotline to get to, but before I do that, I thought, and it'll remain, I suppose, that Liam Cohen's most famous moment as a Jacksonville Jags coach was the following.
Duval.
But after losing 35-7 to the Rams, this is a close second.
Everything we said we didn't want to do did occur.
Well put.
Man, seen a lot of those games.
Everything we said we didn't want to do did occur.
It did. It really did.
I mean, he didn't account for the Rams getting that good sleep.
Yeah, that's
I love the pause.
Everything we said we didn't want to do did occur.
I like this guy.
It's almost like he considered it for a second. Wait a second. Was it everything? Like, yeah.
Everything we said we didn't want to do did occur.
We wanted the Rams to get bad sleep on their flight over.
Did occur.
The Boost mobile hotline numbers 305-486-GOTS, 305-486-4689.
That's right, Dan. The Boost Mobile Boldest Take is presented by Boost Mobile, the newest 5G network in the country.
Three-pointers should not be described as from downtown. Three-pointers should be described as from the suburb.
When I was a kid, I thought that all dogs were boys and all cats were girls.
There is way too much time between the end of the late afternoon games and the beginning of Sunday night football.
The fan getting upset about the Panthers being shit on is one of the funniest things ever. It's the Carolina Panthers.
Jeremy Taché is the Chris Whittingham of Pablo Torres.
Last week, Dan said he had 2 outstanding bets from across the decades, and I just want to remind Dan that he has a 3rd outstanding bet that has never been paid. Dan guaranteed that a certain team would not lose, or he would eat poop. That team lost, and he never ate poop. So, Dan, eat poop.
I have the scorching Trevor Lawrence take. Oh my God, he blows. He happens to blow.
Trevor Lawrence, he happens to blow.
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Is there way too much time between the 4 p.m., the end of the 4 p.m. game and Sunday Night Football? Because you're too addicted. Also put on the poll, is Jeremy Taché the Chris Whittingham of Pablo Torres?
It's a compliment to Jeremy, honestly.
Is it?
How can there be too much time between? You need to shower. You need to get your life in order.
You shower then?
Talk to your wife.
You've spent 6 hours, 7 hours in front of the television. You need that time to regroup before the single game that is Sunday night.
Those 45 minutes are literally the get my shit together time.
Or
Grab
dinner.
a quick dinner. Yeah,
Yep,
quick
atta
dinner.
boy.
Yep.
Guys, your ignorance is showing here. That little window right there is what we call the NASCAR window. That's right. You can watch the end of many NASCAR races during that window, and races like Talladega delivered. Guys, we're on the precipice of an amazing championship 4. We already have Denny Hamlin, who is searching for his first ever Cup Series championship. We have Chase Briscoe, who has been unbelievable this season, was without a team, found a new home, racing the 19, his first super speedway victory. Now we have Martinsville this weekend. It's the final chance for 2 drivers to punch their ticket. Who in that final 8 will win the race potentially and automatically get to the final 4? Who knows? Will there be a spoiler? Will Kyle Larson find his way into the championship 4, even though he didn't make the championship 4 last year after winning the most races? Guys, this is shaping up to be unbelievable, and it can only be brought to you by NASCAR. That's right, NASCAR. Gearhead is presented by NASCAR. For all the latest insights and storylines to find out when and where to watch, visit NASCAR.com.
The punch their ticket reference is a train reference, correct? When you say someone punches their tickets on a destination. So it is a largely 100-year-old saying when people were most traveling by train, right? I'm just there are no other punch tickets. You punch a clock when you're punching in for work, but that's not a ticket. The only time a ticket is punched is when you're taking a train somewhere, correct? It's not even a bus. Jessica's got some disputes, Zaslow, with your bus story. Evidently, she doesn't believe some parts of your first-class bus story.
Oh.
When Anthony Peeler fought Kevin Garnett, he also punched a ticket.
A big ticket.
I would love to hear where this doubt is coming in play.
Wow.
You're going to, in the next hour, we will find out a little more about this accusation. I've heard it whispered around the office. Whenever a lie is told around here, it spreads quickly in terms of accusatory people. And you're not a known liar yet.
Really? I always tell the truth, even when I lie.
That seat, though, it kind of comes with it.
You're not a known liar? Huh.
Greg.
I thought you were.
Greg.
You're not talking to me.
Greg, we're just 2 weeks away from Denny Hamlin racing
It's
for his
exciting.
championship life while he is actively suing NASCAR as a team owner for Michael Jordan's team.
It's great. I can't wait for the NASCAR commissioner, if there is such a person. Is it still the Francis?
Francis, yeah, they're super powerful.
Yeah, and handing the trophy to the guy suing them, that's going to be lovely.
How many of you had any criticisms of last night's debut of NBC basketball brought back to life? this is really reaching across generations because the young players who were interviewed have no recollection whatsoever about the nostalgia being triggered for the over 40-year-olds. Chris Cody mentioned that the technical difficulties at the beginning gave him felt like balm. I am honestly surprised that more of these giant endeavors don't have more wrong in them. Like, I already saw that NBC last night was a little bit physically closer to the players, like right on them than I'm used to seeing, even though plenty of people are trying to push the boundaries. I assume that this is all, the streaming services are going to all push the boundaries on more access. How do we make the game more futuristic? What do we do in order to give you more inside the huddle?
Dan, I'm going to seize upon something you just said there about streaming networks, because a lot of been made about, it costs $650 to watch every single NBA game. This is ridiculous. We had opening night on broadcast television. We haven't had that in a gajillion years. You are getting more NBA basketball if you are a basic cable subscriber, and that's it. You're getting more NBA basketball for free than ever before. That $650 number, that's if you're getting League Pass. That's if you're getting Amazon Prime. That's if you're getting Peacock.
It's if you want NBA every single night.
Every single night. But if you're saying, hey, I can't afford it, all I have is basic cable, you're getting NBC, you're getting ESPN, and you're getting more than enough, and ABC games. You're getting way more than enough. The word streaming should not be in anyone's lexicon. Right now, the NBA is back, and it's back on big-time television, until football comes back.
I want to talk to you guys about how you're viewing some of this stuff, but just my wife just this last week decided I have to get control of this cable bill. I want to know what you guys think or know you're paying monthly, because I do believe that this is such a sprawling thing now. My wife was alarmed when she realized what we're paying for as we're changing our cable package, and more alarmed when I said, and get Rays baseball. She didn't understand why I was doing that, but I'm like, make sure that we have Tampa Bay Rays baseball.
Can you just get Rays
baseball? What is the amount? What is the number? Do you guys know? What is the highest number I can give you to shock you? Because I was surprised about what I'm paying a month once I find out. And there was some overlap. She's trying to get rid of some of the overlap in the places where you get ripped off because you have multiple same subscriptions.
This is what we're going to do, right, Dan. So, first of all, you have obviously regular cable, right? Or whatever the equivalent of regular cable is, right? So you get TBS, TNT, all those channels, right? You get HBO. I know you get HBO, right? You got, do you have?
I have all the
Showtime?
movie channels.
He's got Apple.
All the movie channels, all of them.
All
of them.
The movie channels?
Everything.
Do you have all the movie channels?
Yes.
You got even those kind of movies?
Dude, you
How
pay
often do you
so
watch
much.
those?
You
Big
must pay
spender.
$2,000 a month.
Tell me what the numbers are for you guys.
That's our guess.
Before we get to my number. No, it's not that high. It's not that.
He's got Netflix. We're kind of like Netflix,
Four
right?
digits? Is it 4 digits?
It is not. No, it is not 4 digits.
$850.
No, it's
$1.
We're playing the game poorly.
It's a little more. It's a little more than $500 a month, and it
What?
Doesn't seem as bad.
Dan, I got a guy for you. Talk to me. I pay the lowest here out of everybody.
I think I'm paying more than him.
Free 99.
You may need to get a second job.
Do you know how much you're paying? Do you know how? Do you have any earthly idea how much you're paying?
No, but my chief of staff does. If I ask him.
Whatever my mom tells him, it's probably double.
I'll bet I'm paying what you're paying, and it's making me a little nauseous.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have all the movie channels?
No.
So wow, then you should really be nauseous.
Because I got like all the apps, and
Yeah,
God knows what I'm.
It's soccer fans have to pay like $300 more.
Guys,
Right.
it's
Apple
not hard.
Plus.
I wasn't counting Red Zone in any of that stuff. I'm not.
But that's
actually,
baked into your cable.
I think I have
I'm not,
that baked in.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
that's baked in.
Like Red Zone. Red Zone by itself is between like $400 and $800 a year. Is it not?
Yeah, but you want to. Do you have YouTube TV?
I do. Yes.
Yeah, so you can watch the individual.
And I have to go
games.
non-commercials as well, because now I'm in. I just at this point I wonder how the audience feels about this. At this point, I simply can't do commercials.
No,
anymore.
don't say that. We love commercials.
Have you seen
Commercials
what-
are awesome.
What Chaos, the hockey show, figured this out.
That's a good show.
It is a good show. It's the guy with the guy in the hat.
Oh, White Hat.
Yeah. They figured out
Like you
something.
meant the hockey show.
If you like to bet on hockey, as I'm one to do, as a lot of us do, you want to watch the games live. ESPN's app decides they're going to run a uniform time for ads every game. So they discovered, why, when I check the score online, is it so far ahead of where I am in the game? You think you're watching a game live. You're not. They're baking in the ad time to however they see fit, and they'll catch you up when you get there. Like, the game runs on tape delay. You're not watching live games anymore.
So streaming already is delayed from live TV via cable. But what these guys discovered was that on top of that delay, ESPN Plus is delaying you even more because they don't care. So if you hit go live after the ad is over, it's not right where you are. It actually jumps ahead.
Really?
Yes. They are they're gaming the system to make sure their ads are watched at the expense of you being up to date on your watching thing. That's why I'm not a big fan of the streaming. I am one of the last people who is a cord keeper. I keep my cord because when I want to watch live sports, I want it to be live for reals.
I believe.
Why'd you say that way?
I don't know. I channeled Greg Cody there. For real.
Well done.
Thank you.
Really good.
Thank you.
Should be a new character.
It should.
What would the character be called, though?
Leon Cody.
Okay, thank you. I'm honored.
Ryder Cup.
Nice. Yeah, let's stay at where the Ryder Cup guy owns the house.
Remember when Dan did that? Silly guy.
Not as bad as making Ray Bork Ron Borges.
That's true. Ron's
just
happy.
trampling Zaz's question.
That was the highlight of the show. That was the highlight of the show. We had so much fun back here, just laughing at the way you just said, yeah, Zaz, that question sucks.
He was just asking a form of the same question that I didn't get answered when he went on the Emmitt Smith divergent path, and so I was just following up again on the same question.
Actually, a better question than that would be...
Yeah, it's actually worse. Dan carried resentment into doing that.
I feel like I'm going to go back. I'll listen on the podcast later, and my part of the question is going to be edited out.
It was the same exact question. Actually, not what we would find most surprising. What you would find most surprising.
Because I asked you before, and yeah.
Is that where we got the top 5?
He did really well with that top 5. That number 1 answer was.
You asked him for a top 5.
What a top 5. I'm serious.
Man.
All 5 of those
Trash
facts
shoot,
were
baby.
interesting. Wow. I may have to buy that book.
That's it.
Wait till it comes out on paperback.
Hanging out with crack dealers.
Yeah, he did some real journalism. That's a little bit harder to do than it used to be. 600. Most of the things you're reading and consuming don't talk to 600 and some odd people before they get published, and it's dying. And very few people actually want that kind of thoroughness because he's getting frustrated by our attention span that lasts 20 TikTok seconds.
Did everyone get the Greg Cody joke there about when it comes out in paperback? Because I don't think that exists anymore. As far as like. It used to be a big thing in publishing. It's a hardcover, and then you wait. The paperback comes out, and it's cheaper.
Right.
And I don't know if the listener now is aware of these
20
dynamics.
CB.
20 CB. Where's that segment, Tony?
Well, you're here. We could do it.
You did do a promo tour real quick for your paperback release, right?
This is a new and unimproved Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz. Gamble on by DraftKings.
This NBA season is going to be so much fun. There's a lot of storylines here. It's somewhat wide open in the East outside of what Juju has to say about the Knicks. So we're going to cover it all as much as we can in a 30-minute episode twice a week.
But on today's episode, we talk Kevin Durant, starting 5. We talk Russell Westbrook, Laker beef, and we find the most
Spilling the tea on LeBron.
Just a little bit, bruv. And also, the most talented little baby I have ever seen in my entire life. Lock in, alley-oop, you dig us.